last time in your carnival-esque adventure, you guys roamed around searching for a mysterious bird-gated creature that was apparently terrorizing the carnival. You followed it into what you thought was, or you followed it into where you thought it was going, which was the Pixie Kingdom. You went around there, played some hide and seek, drank a potion that miniaturized you. Got to talk to a hamster running a Ferris wheel, as well as like a few other games. Talked to some flowers. Talked to a large heron, and roamed around. Found a shadowy figure. And in retrospect, Pinky, go ahead and roll me a history check there.
Actually, I got D&D Beyond 20, so I don't know. Let's see if this works.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's a fun thing. Oh, I'm going to unpause the game. That'll help.
No, it does.
All right, a 16.
All right.
And it was before your time at the carnival. However, that shadowy figure that you see, you recognized it as the shadow of Gleam, one of the former star performers of the Witchlight Carnival, an acrobatic duo of high elf twins, Gleam and Glisten. And in that brief moment where you saw her, and the shadow of this former, not exactly associate because you didn't meet her. However, the shadow of this former employee of the carnival took this small dragonborn child off. You guys tried to search for them and weren't able to find them. You continued searching around, pursuing this bird-like character. You eventually found them, causing more chaos up in the Dragonfly ride section, where they had spooked a dragonfly as a middle-aged dwarf was mounting it, and it took off prematurely, flying around the carnival erratically, trying to just get away from whatever had spooked it. With some daring actions and use of pixie dust, Locke was able to retame the dragonfly and get it to return and help the dwarf so that he wasn't injured. With a large round of applause, you guys re-entered, spoke to a very laid-back Chariot, and continued on. You eventually found this bird-like creature who had apparently been a Kenku, who was using a Kenku warlock who was using Mask of Many Faces to disguise themselves as various peoples and mimic their voices and just wreak havoc on the sanctity and the fun of the carnival. You guys questioned her, got into a fight, knocked her out, got questioned by the guards, the bodyguards of the carnival, got taken to the big top staff area by who is essentially the chief of staff for the security at the carnival. And you guys were able to eventually come to a more civilized conversation in where the Kenku revealed that she had a patron, an archfey, that's the term. An archfey named Zybilna, who is the patron of this carnival, who lives in the Feywild domain of Prismere. And she has been unable to contact her patron since before the last time the carnival came around. You guys questioned her, found out some details that she was bothering the carnival in order to gain information from the carnival owners, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, about what was happening in the Prismere, and they had been reluctant to share information thus far. hence the destructive behavior. You also discovered that the Kenku Kettle Stream had stolen the voice of Candlefoot, the kind of monochromatic looking mime that works in front of the Hall of Illusions. You convinced her to release the mime's voice, at which he and his love, Palasha the Mermaid, became reunited, and he completed the proposal that he had started when his voice was stolen from him. That is where we ended the session. You guys came up witnessing the end of the proposal, and Palasha jumped out of the river, wrapped her arms around Candlefoot, falling to the ground, kissing him fiercely, and the two of them thus becoming engaged and having a successful proposal, with a large crowd kind of gathered around, welcoming and approving, and just kind of the mood of things became very uplifted in that moment. So we return, and what would you guys like to do? As Candlefoot looks at you all kind of upside down from on his back, he's like, "You're here! You found my voice! Thank you so much!" Which is strange, because
you're a horrible mime now.
Like, well, I'd rather be a mime by choice rather than by force.
Congratulations. We were able to find and get your voice back.
My friends, thank you. And he kind of, Palasha kind of rolls off of him and does the equivalent of a kneel on the ground, even though she has a mermaid tail. And as she sits, and she rather happy in like upright, enjoyed attitude to her, her whole body is just filled with like this enjoyable, tense energy where she just like can't really sit still. She's super excited. And the first thing that you see is like the various frills and gills and kind of pieces of her that you might see as like flowing when they are underwater. They are flowing above water as well, even without the need of the water motion. And she looks at you all and she says, "Thank you very much. This means everything to us. I know Candy was extremely upset when the proposal couldn't go through, and I knew something was wrong. I knew he wouldn't just stop partway through. And she kind of shivers. We've been through too much together for it to stop partway like that. And thank you. I feel like we can actually have a life together now. Thank you. What can we do for you?"
Yeah, so, I might have broken a few rules. So, just maybe vouch for me if my job gets taken away.
You got it, Pinky.
Thanks.
I mean it. Very seriously, we are both very much so in your debt. And we will do anything we can to make sure that you're well taken care of here. You've been here for quite a while. You always have a home with us.
Mm-hmm.
Pinky, is there any chance that she can get us in with the big guys?
Oh, yes. So, we're trying to get an audience with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. We were originally planning on performing for them, but
And Palasha, as soon as you say performance, like something clicks in her head. She's like, "Oh my gosh, what time is it?" And you guys know it's about midday, and there's a couple of right about that moment you hear a couple of people like roaming the crowds, just shouting, "Big top performance! Starting soon! Come and get your tickets!" No, You already have tickets. There's no punch. There's no punch. Forgive me. Too much spiced wine from the eating area. No, come to the performance. It's fantastic. And they're like trying to corral people over to the top. And Palasha goes, Candy, I love you. I have to go. I have to. The show must go on. And he looks at her and goes, darling, don't worry about it. I will be here when you come back. Go. We'll see you then.
Plasha, wait a second. And I pull out one of my special seeds and I use Druidcraft to bloom it and I give it to her. So I said, could you sing with this? Just hold this flower and sing to it.
Of course, Pinky. Happy to.
Thank you.
And she takes it and she dives under the water with like holding the flower above her and like swims kind of like the reverse direction of the river itself, getting back over to the Big Top area. And you know that she and you assume that she's gotten in there and done what she's supposed to do. All right. So what are you guys doing?
Probably head to the Big Top.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
If there isn't thing, and I would say since Kevis is still at the Big Top, can I look for that shadow figure I saw in Pixie Kingdom? See if I see anything like that.
Roll a perception check.
Okay.
7.
It'd be a good game.
You notice Palasha in kind of a splashy way in more method than one. She flies out of the river and like lands on the ground and kind of like it's almost like a snake with her torso upright. Kind of swims in and you see her go to the staff area and like wave her hand and the thorns open up and so it's big. It's kind of a very noticeable thing, and you are looking around, but you immediately train on her. You kind of like watch her come in. You don't notice anything else.
Cool.
Yeah.
Candlefoot, we're gonna go to the Big Top and watch the show. You want to join, or do you have to stay at the Hall of Illusions?
I have to stay. It's my post. The rest of the carnival does stay open while the show is going on.
Okay.
So, but I appreciate the offer to join. I will be there at the end of the night though, for the crowning of the Witchlight King and our Queen. That's the Witchlight Monarch. That's a big event at the end, which kind of like signifies the end of the night, and it's a bit of a to-do, and I'm part of the ceremony, so I would see you there as things are closing down.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Start to head over to the Big Top.
And in like the most glorious fashion of somebody who it like makes their living from like, you know, precise movements of their body, Candlefoot stands up and gives you the most elaborate flourish and bow you have ever seen. His legs cross in front of each other, and his head sweeps so low you swear his nose touches the ground. And he comes back up and says, friends, once more, thank you. This is a dream following a nightmare. Best of luck to you.
Glad to
Best
help.
of luck to you on your performance. Remember, if you do want to talk to the owners, that's your best bet.
Oh boy. And you have a good rest of your day, Candlefoot. Don't go losing that voice of yours again.
And he gets back into miming mode, goes back into the Hall of Illusion, removes the sign, and begins to beckon onlookers and stuff. All right. You guys head over to the Big Top?
Yes.
All right.
Do some perception checks looking for this shadowy figure on the way over.
All right, go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Did I do a perception check for lost things? Because I need to kind of do my job.
Like, oh, right. Working.
Wow.
You guys are starting strong tonight.
You guys are really struggling!
Pinky's walking around, he's like, oh, that's a wallet? It's like, oh, somebody left a donut. And suddenly you're like, man, I'm hungry. And they're like, all you see is that half-eaten donut on the ground.
I like pick it up. Are there like bite marks on this donut?
Yeah, there's like 3 of them, but like they're not deep enough to like, actually get into the center of the hole. It's like a child-sized bite where they're just like kind of nibbling around the sides. Most of it's frosting that's gone.
I'm gonna say like 5-second rule. I'm gonna just break off the bitten part and eat it.
5
Locke
seconds. You
Locke
just found that.
Devastated.
Yeah, 5 seconds. 5 seconds on my watch.
I've only seen it for 3 seconds, so
Locke just watches in like dismay as you shove this like mysterious, accounted for donut in your face. He can't pay attention to any of his surroundings as he's watching this horror.
What? It's good. Don't look at me like that.
That's
good for you, Pinky.
you get like free food here.
Oh, I mean, you're right, but also I haven't gotten any food here today yet, so I mean...
To be fair, that was also free.
Yeah!
It was somebody else's that's been on the ground for a while.
I think I also have another half-eaten piece of food in my inventory somewhere.
I think you threw the sandwich away.
Oh yeah, I probably did. Look, I have some standards.
Moose is like, are you gonna eat the rest of that?
Oh, you want some? I'll
Yeah.
hand it over to him.
I like free food.
I'll give it to him before he punches you.
Yeah, I give it to him and just kind of like take a decent amount of steps away from him.
He eats it.
Yes, he's good!
He's doing his regular cheer as like some crumbs like fall out.
Carnival.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys head over to the big top?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys go in. There's kind of an several ushers at the beginning. There's essentially the carnival equivalent of the town crier up in front. Big top performance, big top extravaganza. Come join us. Witness things you've never thought possible. Come. And you guys go in, and you are. The lights are dim. There's plenty of like talks and whatnot happening in the crowd. Just people murmuring. People have snacks and whatnot, and there are dim lights. You can see kind of like in the far back, like behind like the curtains. You see like a little bit of shipping here and there, and just waiting. Excuse me, waiting for things to start to show up. Excuse me. And it takes a few minutes for the crowd to kind of like eventually settle, and you hear kind of the din of the people outside is almost like magically dissipated. All of a sudden, almost like a barrier of sound is created to increase the drama in the room itself. You see a magical dancing light come on, and it's enough, and it forms a ring directly around the center ring in the big top, and everybody goes kind of quiet for a moment. And you hear music beginning to build, kind of sourceless. The calliope music that you've been hearing all around, it kind of takes a backseat and kind of fades away, and you hear something more symphonic something a little bit more dramatic showing it. And from the center, and like you hear a, and there's a platform up above, like near the very top, and all of the dancing lights seem to like turn their focus, almost like spotlights, up to this platform. And from the center, it opens up, and from a ribbon descends this large hula hoop type ring, and in it you see a very vibrant red and white harlequin suit, bright painted face paint into a permanent smile, a floppy jester hat, all come into focus. And you see this figure who's sitting in the hula hoop that's suspended by a silk ribbon descend into the group, and he's carrying this wand with gold red glass, and there's this butterfly on it that's spinning constantly. And he comes down and says, "Welcome to the Big Top Extravaganza. I am Mr. Light, purveyor, one of the owners of the carnival. Thank you so very much for joining us this day." And like as he comes down further and further, there's a certain point where the spotlights kind of hit him, and it looks like cloth. But as it comes down and like to the certain point, it starts to shimmer off of him, like thousands of little reflective gems, and he looks like a descending disco ball, which is very strange because as he moves, like the light just splays and flutters all around him. And he says, "Welcome. We have several exciting performances for you, and we shall begin now." And he points, and there's another light that appears above him, and like his lights kind of shimmer away, and you can kind of see him getting pulled back up. And he says, "Enjoy the show." And the figure is that you can see at this point is Burley, the large jack-o'-lantern bugbear that you met earlier, with his jack-o'-lantern type helmet on and his overalls and his large hulking frame. And surrounding him inside of a bit of a circle is several large objects. One is a crate. There is actually like a workout like bench press type thing with like two massive boulders on the end of it. And he kind of like rolls his shoulders and like cracks his body, which is audible even throughout like the whole crowd. It's like, ooh. A few people like wince and get kind of squeamish. And over the next few minutes, he lifts and like with incredible feats of strength, just like lifts things and powers them, and he grabs a boulder and he throws it a good, a boulder this size, and essentially shot puts it almost halfway across the big top tent, and it lands in like a pile of sand and sawdust. And every time he does some sort of feat, there is a large, excited response from the crowd. "Oh my God, that boulder was bigger than I am!" And just like there's incredible feats of strength. This guy is obviously the strong man of the carnival. And at one point, he lifts up a table that looks like it weighs a couple of 100 pounds. And on top of the table stands a dwarf clown right on the corner. And he holds the table up and is balancing the table from the smallest contact point, and the dwarf is balancing on top of it. And every time, like, and there's a couple of times where the dwarf, like, looks like they're going to fall and they right themselves like it was on purpose. And after several minutes of things like this, he drops the table perfectly on all fours, and the dwarf lands perfectly on top of the table feet first. And the two of them raise up and do a big bow as the crowd goes wild for Burley's feats of strength. And eventually a large kind of portable essentially fishbowl, which, Pinky, you know this to be Palash's staff area wagon, is wheeled in, and she comes out, and there is a kind of a magical, as she like extends and starts singing, the water billows out of her bowl and creates a small pool at the side, and she begins singing it, and there's like the familiar figures of like the ballerina-esque water creatures that just start dancing. And it's, again, a beautiful song. This one about excitement and passion, and you guys get the sense that it's kind of meant for you. As she sings, she specifically like finds you in the crowd and starts to gesture towards you. And her little water figures, just creating a river away from her bowl, come up to you and in the crowd where you're sitting, and they begin to dance around you. And one of them slides down Moose's arm. It's like, oh, hey, no touching. And they just guide you and like caress your face. And at one point, their mouths open up. And kind of an echo of her singing emits from them, creating this lovely like solo person harmony as well, in just like your localized area. And she brings her water creatures back, and they kind of like flitter reverse gravity wise like up back into the bowl. And she finishes her song with like a deep mermaid-esque curtsy. And she is taken back. And then the Goliath woman, who Moose sees her, is immediately like, yeah, boxing! Woo! And there he is, just like, oh, this is great. And she comes out with her fairy dragons, and like her arms are completely, and there are a series of probably like a dozen of them across her arms, and she throws her arms out, and the fairy dragons extend, and they begin to dance around, and like she's like conducting them with her hands. They follow the hand movement, and it becomes this beautiful dance of fairy dragons just flittering about. And at one point, they start to swirl together, and they move so fast, and she's got such a variety of the colors. You're unable to keep track of which color belongs to which dragon, and they actually begin to blur. And for those of you with higher perceptions, you see that their skin actually begins to blur a little bit, and there's like the shimmering sensation. It's not just that they're moving fast, it's that there's like a color whirl that's actually passing from dragon to dragon to dragon. Like there will be a green spot that passes from one dragon to the next in green, and it's this vortex of color. And she like grabs her hand and pulls down, and this vortex of dragons like comes down over her, and the dragons vanish. And then she then has the vortex of color following around her, and the crowd goes bananas. They all start cheering, and it is incredible visual wonder to see the coordination of all these things, and to see such a smooth transition of the color flowing onto her. And then with like a single moment, she like kind of like punches the air in like a strong gesture, and all the color like rushes down her arm like as she's preparing for it. And all the fairy dragons essentially explode out of the area that she punched, and they return, and she puts her arms back out, and they land back on, ending her performance. And again, the crowd just goes wild, and she goes back in. And there's a number of other acts that show up. Who would like to roll a d8 for me?
I will.
All right, go ahead and roll. Seven. All right. Next up is this goblin that comes out like kind of hunched, but he's got like this large coat on him, and it's kind of like a small goblin, but he looks kind of hunchbacky, and comes out. And at one point, he grabs his coat and he opens it. And there's a few people that are like, oh, and they're like trying to cover their children's eyes. But as he does, it's just lined with small objects, and he grabs them and he starts throwing them in the air. And as he grabs like 2 of them, 6 more fly out of his coat, and he begins to juggle them. You know, one's a dagger, an apple, a rock. What you kind of expect is a small bomb of some sort, and he begins to juggle and like changing it up, and like one-handed juggles, two-handed juggles behind the back. And at one point, he with a wave of his hand, several of the objects like fly back into his coat, and he begins to like there's this glass ball that he's just David Bowieing on his fingers, and he looks at the crowd and he starts like gesturing, give me more, give me something to throw. And there's some people that like somebody like throws out a pocket watch, and somebody throws like a half-eaten a half-eaten candied apple, and there's several other small objects that are thrown out, and he begins to just like catch them and juggle them as well. And regardless of whatever it is, somebody throws out what is essentially like a small pumpkin, which weighs significantly more than the other things, and he just takes it and begins juggling them seamlessly. And as he's done, he kind of walks around, and like after he gets to like a certain distance away from the crowd member who threw the item, he flicks it back to them, and it goes straight back into their hands. And he ends, and he throws the glass ball up, and he grabs it, and he holds it out, and he opens his hand, and it's gone. And he takes his bow, and he leaves as well. Liliana, would you like to roll a d8 as well? Ignore 7s. An 8. All right. Next up is a very lithe and tall pink and purple and red kind of tie-dyed ballerina. She's Elvis with extremely sharp features, and she kind of tiptoes out into the middle of the room, and she starts to do some ballet, and it's very smooth and beautiful. And as she leaps, something jumps out of the crowd, and it's an empty dress, yellow with like blue trim, and kind of like a large, I'm sure there's a proper term for this, but like a large butt area, like ballroom type gown with like the hoops underneath to like extend like the lower shape of a woman. And it starts dancing with her. She jumps again, and from another part of the crowd jumps out what is essentially a tuxedo. And it begins to dance with her. And the 3 of them start to do this blended harmonies. The 2 of the 2 garments start dancing together in a waltz. And several more objects fly out, and it's a variety of dresses and costumes. One looks like a devil, one looks like an angel. One of them looks like some sort of frog, and then there's a prince that comes out as well. And just like the 7 or 8 costumes, they all start to dance together, and it becomes a kind of a one person with several costume like theater of ballet. And there's a bit of a story to it about betrayal and revenge with the frog who was actually a prince, but the current prince like usurped him and cursed him, and it becomes this dramatic thing, and eventually it ends with like the 2 pieces of clothing kind of like warring off against each other, and they both fall and just deflate on the ground. And then she finishes hers. And she does like this low ballet curtsy as she like sweeps her hand all of the clothes. They all stand up again. and they take their own bows and they walk off the stage. Eli, would you like to roll? Ignore 7s and 8s. Go ahead and re-roll. Okay, 6. All right, just got a message from Duke. He'll be joining us shortly. So the crowd kind of gathers in a hush, and like the lights fade out to essentially nothingness. And at this time, it kind of like it takes a moment for you to get your bearings, because there has been bright lights up until this point. And suddenly you see 2 torches light up in the center, one green flames, one blue, and they're on the end of these like metal rods being held by a tiefling with bright pink kind of MC Hammer type pants with a colorful top. And you see in the, I'll throw it into the chat, and this tiefling starts to fire dance with these batons of flames, and he turns around and like reaches back, and one in front of him, he takes the green flame, and there's a massive gout of fire as he breathes fire into this thing, and it's green with a little bit of white tinge, and then from the center of it, something breaks free. Wings and a sharp face, long, skinny arms. And he does the same thing, and he twirls the blue flame, and he blows into it, and blue flames of white sword come out. And from it, another figure emerges. From the green flame, a black, smoky, kind of small devil-looking thing, and from the blue flame, a red, dripping with kind of magma-esque flame as well. And he's summoning mephits, small elementals that begin to dance and swirl in concert. And as he does his fire breathing and flips his batons, they kind of follow the rhythm, and they and eventually they come up, and it's several more minutes of this. And as he twirls his batons and he blows a gout of them both, you see a much larger one that seems to be both shadow and magma simultaneously. And at that point, all the remaining of them, about 7 or 8 of these, come up and they collide with the large thing, and it becomes, and there's a large cloud of sparks. Just, and what you see is descending is a flame-based duplicate of the tiefling himself. The 2 of them begin to dance in almost like a dueling sensation, one another, breathing fire and dodging it at the same time. And then finally, he holds out the blue flame and flips it backwards, and essentially like kind of sucks the red one back into it. You see several of these mephits kind of filter back into the base of his blue flame wand, and he does the same, and it strips some of the color from his twin. And he flips around the green one and summons the shadows back, and it's like all the shading that was on this creature, they get sucked away, and then what's left is kind of just this white pale figure with no shading on it. And he puts them together and snuffs out the flames, and there's this ripple effect, and the flame creature just kind of disappears. And he swirls and provides his bow as well. All right, and Kevin, would you like to roll, please? Oh, go ahead and re-roll. Got 6, 7, and 8 taken care of. One more time. Roll a d6 and drop a 6.
There's one.
There we go. Okay, cool. All right, and this one, All right, and you see this kind of like Goblin Clown, which is pretty funny to see because it's got like a very sharp, like kind of scary looking features, but it's like covered in face paint. Goes and grabs a rope and like drags it to the middle of the floor, and then just runs off stage. And all that rope was attached to was like a small box like this. It looks to be approximately a hat box. It's actually got a top hat painted on the top of on the lid of this box, and it's just nothing. And then you see the box kind of jostle. The latches go, and from inside the box pops open, and you see an arm and a leg kind of come out, and then like kind of butt first stepping out of this box is a halfling, which they should not be able to fit inside of there. And they kind of like roll their arms and like pop a socket back into place. And this is clearly a contortionist type. And he kind of shifts and like hops out of the box. And there's a large set of surprise voices. And he flips a switch on the side of the box. And the box becomes several other types of boxes in impossible shapes. One's like a cylinder meant for like kind of a decorative fishbowl, and he's able to like get himself down there head first, and like legs and arms and such twisting. And it looks like this creature has no bones, no joints. He's able to just like smoothly fit his body into whatever it appears to be, and the crowd is just like in shock. This one doesn't come with so much applause, but this one is a little bit more just like awe and wonder and like, what the fuck are we? Yeah, but there are some good applause as it leaves as well. All right, and then from Moose, this lost sessions ago. I'll roll for Moose. All right, Moose is gonna get awesome. Next up is the curtains, and this is a figure larger than Burley even comes through. It looks menacing, and you're like expecting something deep and intense and scary from this thing. And instead, it opens up like this coat that it's wearing and pulls out a baton. And it's like, what the hell? And it comes over to a stand, which you didn't notice was sitting there before, and it kind of flicks it on, holds it up like it's about to conduct. Then as it does, it flicks it starts to do a 3 count. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And as it does, every time he flicks it, a few very tiny lights show up. And it takes you a moment, but you realize there are different colors of fireflies. And as he flicks, he conducts, and what is essentially, some of them become terrain and different. You see a tent and a high wire. You see the 3 rings. You see hoops and ramps and jumps. And then there are other fireflies that kind of condense together to create creatures and humanoid figures that he essentially recreates the big top with these fireflies, and he's conducting it. And it's similar events that are happening all around, and they're all just miniaturized, being conducted by this large, scary-faced ogre who like, even when he smiles, it's like, ugh. And the figures go through, and they end with this like, which in retrospect is like, okay, they're flying, that's not that impressive, but like in the moment you're watching it, and they build like this kind of humanoid pyramid, which reaches essentially to the top of the big top, that like the ceiling is even like kind of flittered out with like different fireflies. And every time that there's a new person on, like everything kind of like shifts a little bit. And like some of the crowd, you know, kind of despite their better judgment, like they're flying, but it's still exciting. It's like they look like they're going to fall. And the last one gets on top, and does a bow on top of the pyramid and starts to lean forward. And several of them fall off of the pyramid and they all land in perfect kind of cascading unison. And even the bottom row, they all do a front flip and they all land on their feet. And they're all kind of spread out like this, and they all rise up and take a bow, and then like they throw their arms out and they scatter back into. And the ogre puts the baton away, blows a kiss to the crowd, which is met with various reactions, and walks off the stage. All right, and last one. Who would like to roll since Duke is not quite here yet?
I'll roll.
All right, we only got a couple left. Reroll that one. Let's see. Go ahead and roll a d4, and we'll just drop a 4.
What? We've gotten one before?
Yeah, I just did one.
Oh, all right.
Okay, excellent. And kind of for the grand finale, what comes out is there's a kind of a box that's covered in what kind of equates to like wrapping paper of vibrant hues, and there's 8 of them, or there's 8 of them, and out of each box, you think without like a tearing sound or anything, that the colorful box like recedes, and there's a square opening in each of the 8 of them, and out from them just stand 8 weasels or 2 weasels per box for a total of 8 weasels. And like they come out and they all look to the right at the same time, all look to the left. They all kind of crouch down, stand on their hind legs or on their forelegs, and like raise their bodies up with their tails flopping over, and they start scooting around. And one of them kind of like falls, like knocks the other ones all over like a set of dominoes. The last one rolls, like flops on its back. And it gets up and they all kind of shake themselves. And there's a small, like a whistle sound. And they all line up 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. And you see from the ceiling 8 pixies of kind of like the Roy G. Biv rainbow bread. And the last one is white. They all come down and they land between them, and a materialized chariot appears and kind of connects the weasels and like grabs the like collar, like a chest harness. And each one of the weasels and the chariot, as soon as the pixie touches them, they become similar coloration. So 2 purple weasels and a purple chariot, 2 red weasels and a red chariot, and a red pixie, and lastly going all the way down to white. And they line up. In as they do, you realize that the around the largest ring is essentially, for their size, an enormous chariot race. And there's a black pixie that comes out and like stands in front and claps their hands, hovering a few feet above the weasels in the race. And as they do, all 8 of them start to race around, and there's like they dodge and carry in front of each other and shift around left to right and right to back. And they begin to race and get further and further along. And the rainbow does a strange thing. It kind of shifts, and whoever's in first place is red. Second place, orange. Third place, yellow. And so it's the rainbow keeps its shape or its cascade, regardless of which one is in front, and they begin to make their way around. And Troy, go ahead and roll a D8 for me, please, if you have the ability. Not sure if he does. So, Mike, it's your birthday. Would you roll a D8 for me, please?
Oh.
Dagger, got it. 4. Okay, so the essentially the fourth place Chariot, which you see like a number 4 kind of like stamped on the back, and like each one of these chariots has a color. Yeah, it starts out and it kind of becomes last place, and then it begins to rapidly shift around, and like it keeps finding these narrow openings that you don't think should be possible for it to glide through, and it gets all the way from last place. It goes, and it gets up to red right as it's about to reach the finish line. You know, orange, red, orange, red, orange, red, orange, red, orange, red, and then number 4, red. And there's sparks that go off that are all red in color, and they come up into the center and form the letter or the number 4, and it begins to flash. And all the pixies get out of their chariots. The chariots kind of dissolve, and all the weasels become their regular color, and they all stand up together like on their hind legs, and it's super cute. Tiny little arms on like flexy bodies, all like do a deep bow with their paws on their chest and back, and they go back into their dens and the kind of colored boxes. And as you guys were kind of watching that, lights appear in the center of the stage. And it's Mr. Witch once more. Again, his clothing kind of sparkling and sending light in different directions. He says, "Thank you for joining us in this extravaganza so far. Now, this is one of our favorite parts. We would like the audience, whoever feels comfortable, to come, show us your skills, participate, wow the crowd as my employees have done. Who would like to join?" And Eli holds up his hand, and like as soon as you hold up your hand, like the moment that it happens, it's like, and there's a light on you.
Yeah, I would like to do my old trick. I would like to start pantomiming again, and then
All right.
cast minor illusion and create the glass box around me again, because that worked really well last time.
Okay, so he motions you down to the center of the stage, and like there's a bit of a platform that you can stand on. And go ahead and roll a performance check for me.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh boy. So what is that tonight, guys? I've had you roll
That's
3.
That's
I've
3
had you roll
different
3
natural
D20s.
ones.
Natural ones from 3 of you. Solid start, y'all.
As I see him start to mess up, I'm going to do he's in the middle of the area now, right?
No, he's not. As
Is he
he
still-
No, as he like goes to like into the center of the ring, there's like about a 1 foot block that is the ring.
He trips
itself.
before he gets there.
Absolutely, he trips face first into the sawdust and the dirt.
As he starts to trip,
the chainmail falls down like around his waist, and his legs start kicking in the air, and the crowd loves it.
as he starts to trip, I'm going to do a backflip into the center of the area to try to take the attention away from him a little bit.
Roll an acrobatics check, and please roll a 1.
You also trip.
Hey.
Okay. So you do a backflip, and some of the attention is looking at you now, and they're all staring. How about the rest of you? Is anybody else joining in the center? Moose will definitely go.
Yeah, we can do a fencing trick now if you want.
Yeah, I want to do some sort of sword play or something.
Yeah, we should do a duel. Let's do a duel.
Okay, so the lot of you get out there, and what started off as like a rough beginning. The entire group goes out, and okay. So I need performance checks. Everybody else.
Can I also note, when we get down there, I want to pull out the wand and cast the digital whatever. Or I can't pronounce it.
Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation.
And can
Prestidigitation.
I do it on both my swords and whatever Pinky's weapon is to have some sort of every movement color follows?
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah. What color do you want?
Well, of course, for Pinky, we'll do pink. And then for mine, more of like a greenish purple. So like at the very front of the movement turns green, but as the sword continues and further back, like it starts to turn purple. Does that make sense?
All right, got you. Kind of like on the tail end of like where the color would like kind of drift off. It starts to tinge.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So Pinky and Kevis, go ahead and roll. Roll sleight of hand checks for this, I suppose, because it's about controlling your hand motions to be in sync for something you guys have practiced before.
Got really good sleight of hand. Okay. Are you serious? You had one job.
All right. So you guys start dueling, and as you do, and then Kevis, go ahead and roll a performance check for me as well.
Okay, you got this.
Okay, it's a little bit lame.
Maybe I'll lead this duel.
Pinky, give me a performance check as well, please.
Oh boy. Seeing how she's struggling, I'm just like, okay. Oh no.
Oh, jeez.
So essentially, the one-sided duel is actually like rather flourished and everything, but the acting skills between the both of you, not good. And like your faces are like over exaggerated, like, and like it's just like it's pretty corny, and like the sword movements and the flourish on the blade looks good, but you kind of get like some minor applause. Okay, so for Moose and Zarius, you guys just witnessed several different acts come into the big top itself, and you guys volunteer yourselves to go in and perform for the crowd, as well as you've been told several times. That's one of the ways to get. Actually, that's pretty much the only way to get the attention of Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. And so the group is currently going through performances.
Alrighty, thank you for letting me know.
Cool. So Locke, as you do your backflip and stand there, what is your performance?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, not a performance check, but what are you doing for the crowd?
Let's see. Actually, yeah, let's also do some juggling. So we'll do...
Okay.
Huh. Can I juggle like my fire bolts?
All right. Go
I mean,
ahead.
if not, I can do darts and daggers. But
yeah, you know what? Because of the nature of what's going on here, yeah, you can essentially juggle them. You can control them to be kind of persistent and whatnot. So, kind of simultaneously roll a sleight of hand check and an arcana check to be able to like combine the two things there.
I'm sure this isn't going to be good.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be beautiful, guys. We've blown this out of the park.
It's nice to hear you all, by the way.
How's it going, Duke?
Man, it's
Hi,
been
dude.
rough, buddy. It's been real rough. I
Yeah.
had to go to the doctor like 2 days in a row and they put me up to an IV. I was puking for like, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and was puking till 8 o'clock at night.
No.
Yeah, it was bad. Like I just got back like maybe 30 minutes ago.
Happy to have you.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome, dude.
Oh man, it was the worst, man. I wanted to die, like really. I was just like, end it now.
Oh man.
But
Well,
I'm
happy
back.
Halloween.
Yeah,
Yeah.
happy Halloween. I wanted to wear my costume too, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, you got time if you're just listening in.
Yeah, I could actually probably
okay.
throw it on. Yeah.
Okay, so Locke, you go up there and like it's your first time doing this sort of thing. So you begin to kind of create several firebolts that are, and you're trying to keep up with them. And like it's a decent performance, but it's a little bit clear to some of the members in the crowd that like your hands are not actually touching and controlling the motion of these things. It's more like you're controlling them with your magic, and then you're just like having your hands like go through the motions as if you are controlling them. And it's a little bit out of sync. Like audio video is not quite in tandem.
Okay.
But it's pretty decent. You get some claps. Okay. Duke, what is your performance that you would like, or Zarius gets out there, and what would Zarius like to do to?
I would like to fly around, like do flips, and then launch into like flying, and then back down and do some more flips, and then flying around. Something like that.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead and roll an acrobatics check.
All right, 1 second here. Acrobatics.
Okay. So with a 13, so you are able to dash around and you fly and kind of like land all fours, like on like one of the tentacles and like flip off and do a spin and like land on the ground, and you're just kind of like bouncing all over the place like a ricocheting bullet. And some people are excited, but some of it's a little bit clumsy. Like you like land and then it takes you a second to like push off rather than just like landing and launching like immediately.
Gotcha.
Yep. And so you also get some claps. And the whole time, Moose is up there in the center, basically being your ringleader. And now we have Sirius with his bouncing flying skills. And like he's like kind of getting into persona there as well. Do you have the ability to roll right now, Troy? Okay, go ahead and roll a performance check. Get there.
You rolled an 18.
Okay, rolled an 18. Okay, and as he does this, you guys, and he's kind of like talking about you guys, and every time that you guys do a performance, or every time like he notices something is like kind of messing up, you all get like he kind of like says something and like takes the attention away from you for a moment in order to kind of give you a little bit of a breathing room. So it doesn't come off as if your performances are quite, as lackluster as they be. These roles are not being good to you guys today,
Real cruel world.
right? Okay, and then Eli, would you please roll one more performance check to kind of even things out, as and mostly people just thought like your trip was like funny and part of the act. Okay. So you get into the box and like start doing your pantomime, and there's some people that are pretty excited about it. To see kind of a visual representation of like what the mime is doing. Some people are into it. Any final things that you guys want to do before you
Die of embarrassment.
Gotcha. Okay. So you guys kind of finish up your group of things, and Moose leads everybody in Carnival, and like does like a big bow and kind of signals you guys to do the same.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Witch says, "Thank you very much. That was a fantastically improvised group act. Thank you, Pinky. Nice to see you."
Moose is going to use his thaumaturgy to make it sound like some of the people in the audience are clapping.
Gotcha. During as to kind of like bolster the others.
Yep.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, and you guys all are able to go back to your seats. And as you do, there's a couple of more people that like come up and who come out, and you see this satyr come out of the crowd who has like these green circlet on her around her horns as she brings a fiddle, and she starts fiddling, and it's this very fast jaunty thing. And as she hits certain notes, you see like a kind of out of the ground. There's some plants that emerge out of the ground, and like they start swaying and dancing and like swishing and like twisting and then untwisting to the performance of this particular satyr. And gets let me roll a performance check. Gets a decent amount of applause, approximately. And then one more person comes out and runs over and like points at a cannon and has like people like come over and like this like person apparently from the crowd like takes a helmet and puts it on and like crawls into the cannon and like says, "Pull it! I've always wanted to do this!" And they light it and the cannon lights. And this halfling flies across the tent and has no idea what it's supposed to be doing, and they just witch crash into the leftmost tent pole, just like straight out, and they just kind of like slide down, and there's a round of ooh from the crowd, and they get to the bottom and kind of hit their butt and like fall back, and they're just like out cold. And there's a stretcher with like a team of goblins in like medical gear. And take them out. And there's a couple of other acts that like come out. None of them are particularly spectacular. And Mr. Witch comes back once more. Thank you all for a delightful set of performances. Oftentimes, what we do up here comes from inspiration that we found out there. We've seen some fantastic things today. Thank you all so much for coming to our Big Top Extravaganza. We hope to see you soon. Enjoy the carnival. And go ahead and roll a perception check.
Who?
Kevis.
Oh. Yeah, your audio goes kind of in and out occasionally.
No. Oh no.
Wow, guys.
Hey, by like I don't know, February, you'll be in the double digits.
Let's just hope this don't roll with close combat. Or we're
I was gonna say,
it's okay.
if I ever wanted to TPK you guys, today would be the day. Based on these rolls so far. All right.
It's crazy. These rolls are so bad with a +6 and you get an 8. God, that's rough.
Yeah, we have pretty decent proficiencies for stuff. It's just we're rolling horribly.
Oh yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Pinky, perception check for you too, please.
Please.
Can I assist her?
Oh, I did. Okay.
So she
Oh
doesn't
my
need
gosh! I don't know if anybody else saw that, but it was almost a natural 1 again.
Yeah.
Pinky, you're well trained in this, and you know, kind of knowing what you know about the carnival and whatnot. You see, Mr. Witch's, Mr. Light's wand is spinning a little bit faster after the extravaganza.
Kind of relax a little bit.
All right, and you know, the music kind of dies back down, and you guys are able to step back outside and wander away, and people start spreading back out through the remainder of the carnival, and kind of things begin again. And before you guys get too far, Burley comes out and puts a hand on Moose's shoulder. That was very well done. Mr. Witch and Mr. Light were most delighted with your performances above all others today. They
I'm
would
not
like
surprised.
to see you. Which, by the way, Moose saved your bacons, your collective bacons.
Oh, 100%.
Yep.
Moose!
Carnival!
Carnival!
Right? And he says, excellent. If you would follow me, please. You guys step back into the big top. And it's kind of like the remainder of the people kind of filter out, and you see some essentially cleaning crew come up and start to pick up the trash and scrub, scrape gum off the bleachers, that sort of thing. You guys head back through the back, and you're able to see some of the caged animals that you saw performing, and they're all just they all look like they're resting after their performance. And you see clowns and whatnot wiping makeup off of themselves, and just the after post big top backstage routines are happening. And Burley brings you all back to the most ornate out of all of the wagons in the staff area, and you see this grumpy clown with gold painted wings sitting in front of these wagons, and he just looks surly as all get out. And Burley doesn't even acknowledge him, but he's leaning around there, and he walks up and knocks on the door to the more ornate of the several wagons that are back there. And the door opens, and he says, "They will see you now." And he kind of steps back around and sits on this thick barrel and reaches down and grabs a book and begins to read it. And inside, you guys the door opens up, and you see Mr. Witch kind of sitting with his back to the door. Mr. White sitting to kind of sitting on a bunk with fingers laced and looking at the rest of you. And Mr. Witch says, "Hello and welcome. You fixed Pinky I see you've made some new friends. Good as always. Your performances were a little bit rough cut, but overall quite entertaining, especially you, little one. And he looks right at Eli, and you get the sense that he's talking about the trip and the like leg kicking in the air. He's like, you could have some real talent as one of our clowns. What was that?
I take offense to that. I'm
Oh,
a
no
clown.
offense. No offense intended. Clowns have a very important job of keeping the joviality of the carnival going.
Do I look jovial to you?
Not to the members,
Yeah.
not particularly, but the rest of them do. See, even grumpy clowns have their purpose. But enough. I digress, and I apologize. We wanted to thank you all. You lot seem to have a particularly potent effect on the mood of the carnival this evening.
Carnival!
Exactly.
I probably shouldn't use my indoor voice
Well,
What's your
that is
voice?
true.
or outdoor voice.
I'm like,
I was gonna
your
say you have an indoor voice.
I thought you were all one volume, to be quite honest.
Right. I just always thought it was the same.
Yep. And he looks at you all and he says, thank you very much for your continued involvement in this in the spirit and uplifting the carnival. You all are all, I hope you are all having a wonderful time. Oh, and this is my associate, Mr. Witch. And it's the kind of the very grumpy looking, also kind of like dark skinned, like a pale gray skinned elf in the background. And he just kind of nods at you. He's wearing a loose fitting pinstripe suit, kind of a brown color, and like his red vest with a gold pocket watch chain going from his buttons into his side pocket. Is there anything you guys would like to do at this point?
Is Kevin's crown doing okay?
It needs a watering. That was a long performance.
Kevin's go water that crown.
Instead of leaving, I'm gonna pull out my water skin and just dump a little on my head.
I see you've made a pact. Very entertaining. You are not the only one with a crown of flowers upon your head this day.
Good.
Which
Are
there's a
they
part of
also
Kevis
pink?
that's just like cringy, but at the same time you're like, yeah, that's pretty funny. 'Cause you still have affected that ability.
This whole time I've been trying to fight that. Every time, like, the relatively something's funny, like the smallest thing, you can see Kevis just trying not to.
Yeah,
God.
right.
Loosen up.
You're really not a go with the flow type of guy, are you, buddy?
No, not really. And I just want to look away. I
Can
want to So it looks like Mr. Light's more of like the I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Like if I want to get
More-
answers for something, he's the guy to go to. More talkative, I guess.
Certainly more talkative. He's definitely the face of the carnival. And roll an insight check for me.
Oh God, please.
I'm guessing 3.
Thank God.
19. Okay. With this particular line of questioning, you determine, Mr. Light is the face of the carnival. He's the one that's in charge of like the guests, essentially. And like he's concerned with the mood of the carnival and like whether or not it's going well. And Mr. Witch is more like the behind the scenes guy. He is the organizer and the executor of everything to make sure that things are running smoothly and on schedule. And like you kind of get this as he like opens his pocket watch and like flips it open, like checks it and like puts it back.
Okay. After Kevis is calmed down and laughing, he'll kind of step forward. Absolutely fantastic carnival here. Really, really fun. I just had a couple questions. More of just, I don't know if you're aware or what. Um, do you happen to have some figures that seem out of the ordinary? And I understand, yes, we're in a Fae carnival, so out of the ordinary is ordinary for the Fae. But are there some figures that you just feel are not uncomfortable to be around, that shouldn't be at a carnival? And as I'm saying this to Mr. Light, I want to watch Mr. Witch's expressions too.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And yeah, go ahead and roll another insight check for me. Like as you're like tracking them.
That's good.
All right. And you you see Mr. Witch, excuse me, you see Mr. Light. He doesn't even miss a beat. It's like, no, interesting. Uncomfortable characters. To be honest, most people find me to be the uncomfortable one. So no, I don't think I have. I don't think I would say, comfortable. That's no, nothing comes to mind. And you see Mr. Witch. He just looks. He just kind of like shifts his eyes a little bit. He doesn't respond. Like, not quite. Seems a little squeamish on the question.
So, this is a Fae carnival. So what is your guys' connection within the Fae?
Well, that is an interesting story. Believe it or
Ooh, I
not.
love a story.
Yeah.
Starts hopping up and down really, really fast.
Excitement, that's what I like to see. Believe it or
Come
not.
on, the story.
We are not in a few. And I should warn you. And he like moves his hand in the air. And there's like kind of like this shimmer of words that appear in like some sort of like in language. He rips it, kind of like ripping off a band-aid, and it kind of scatters out. It's like, this is a trade secret that only you are allowed to know. If you try to speak of it, you will be unable to. If you try to write it, you will be unable to. This is proprietary information for those who do good by us by making our carnival successful each day. We are not the carnival's original owners. And Mr. Witch pipes up and says, we are Shalakai, Dark Elves. We originally had our own carnival, but more of a carnival for the Underdark and the tastes that belongs there. We eventually crossed paths in our dark circus, traveling from place to place. We eventually came across this one by happenstance. Both would be in the same location at the same time. We made a pact with the other owner. Neither of us could convince the other party that our carnival was the better of the two. So we proposed a trade. We would run the light Fae carnival, and they would run the dark. And thus it has been the Witch Light Carnival ever since. So that is our connection.
You don't mind me asking, Who was the previous owner?
Now that we cannot tell you. For sake of their own privacy.
Even though we wouldn't be able to speak of it.
Indeed. You wouldn't be able to speak of this arrangement, but to potentially seek them out and bother them would essentially go against the contract that we signed. So we will not speak of them.
At this point, I would like Pinky to hear in my voice in her head, where kettle steam.
So we've
Kettle Steam, you last you guys heard from her, and maybe you weren't there. No, you were there.
I was there, but
yeah, Kettle Steam said that she was going home. She needed sleep because you guys beat the shit out of her.
hey,
That's her fault.
we tried peaceful.
she wanted to be here, right? That was that. I'm not confused on that. She wanted to be here when we did this.
She was trying to gain an audience, yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, so yeah, Pinky, you hear that in your head. Also, you hear Eli's voice in your head, but not through your ears. What the hell? Weird feeling.
I was like, huh?
I think I would chime up. I just got one more questions. Do these names sound familiar to you? And I want to mention Kettlefoot's Archfey. I don't want to try to butcher her
Kettle
name.
Stream?
Huh?
Oh, Kettle Steams?
Yeah.
Zabilna.
Zabilna. And does Oberon, do those names sound familiar to you?
I don't look at their expressions. I see.
At this point, like, this is the most intense Kevis is, like, watching for any sort of mood change, recognition, as soon as he says those names.
Okay. And as he... Oberon. Well, he's an archfey. I've heard of him, but I don't believe we've ever had any dealings. And where did you hear of Zabilna?
Oh, a little bird on the grapevine chimed us in. You know, I was. You know, I was trying.
Wasn't this bird?
Not this one,
not that bird.
Not this canary fellow.
Is there anything that seems like mood change while the conversation's going with Pinky?
A black bird that's been causing some trouble. We decided to investigate and might have gotten into a little bit of fight, but that was totally not our fault.
Yes, Burley told us of this.
And some names were dropped. Yeah.
So, Pinky, I should commend you for taking care of our little pest, ruining the carnivals. And you see Mr. Witch, and you have never seen him like this. He goes into like a few seconds worth of like rage on his face. Those who deliberately disturb the carnival's emotion shall not be forgiven. We have too much reputation on the line. The reputation of providing people with an entertaining event is very important to us.
Okay, yeah.
Kevis, go ahead and roll an insight check. Okay. Mr. Witch, absolutely stone-faced. You can't read a thing off of him. Nothing moves. Mr. Light, though, at the mention of Zybilna, he starts shifting in his chair. He crosses his legs, and he's kind of with a roll that high, kind of peacocking to avoid something that he doesn't want to talk about.
Yeah.
And that bird is gone. Did they?
I don't know.
Them?
No, I'm not do I look like a murder to you guys?
I don't know, Pinky. Lots of cute things in the Fae look like.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong right there. Hey, Kevin, I saw that face. Don't think I didn't see.
Can I peek my head out and see if Kettle's seam is up in the tree that she originally was when we walked away?
Yeah. So she also said that you guys were hiding something. So are
I
you hiding
believe she's.
something?
Yeah, you kind of look over and roll a perception check there.
Me?
Yeah. Keep an eye out for Kettle's team. You don't see her. She's gone.
What do you know about the stuff that we lost? Who sponsored us? We have lots of questions regarding on why we're here for free and why we are all missing things. What do you know about this?
Really? Someone sponsored you?
Yes, someone sponsored us to come in here, and we don't know who.
Nor do we. That's an interesting
won't say
proposition.
anything.
I got a free ticket. It was the greatest thing ever.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. It is an occasional happenstance. People, for whatever reason, will sponsor their associates or friends or family members. They want them to have a good time.
But the coincidence of each of us missing something and also being sponsored, that's a bit of a high coincidence.
And he takes it.
What's a coincidence?
Coincidence is when something happens, but it seems like it's too random or lucky to actually
Be random.
random. You say
He
you're
just
all
gets a weird
missing
look on his
something.
face.
What does that mean?
Each of us had been at this carnival in the past, and
And you see a look of recognition land on both of their faces. You were all intruders, weren't you? You entered without paying for a ticket.
Kind of rude to call me an intruder. I won't care.
You do now.
that's
Oh, yeah.
possible. We were very young.
Yes. Well, the Fae rules have no. What's the word? Reverence for age. Age is a near irrelevant factor in the Feywild. Everything comes at a price, especially when it comes to the Fae. If you lost something, then
In the Feywild, can you live forever?
Some do. That arch Fae of
He starts jumping up and down, getting more excited.
Ugura. All right.
Do you have any way of finding out what we're missing and where it is?
No. That is not something that we control. It is a natural law. We have no abilities to help you there.
What about missing children?
How about an insight check on that? Is that if that's
Okay, yeah.
true?
Go ahead and roll an insight check.
Yeah, this is gonna suck. Not too bad.
Okay. This is kind of just a generally shifty, like a shifty situation in general. And you just met these guys. You're not really sure. Mr. Witch's entire persona is obviously like a showcasing. His everything about him is a performance. So you're not sure what is real or what's not.
So who controls that?
I
Then,
never said anybody controlled it. I said it was a law.
right. Well, if we're looking for the missing items, they would have to go somewhere.
Perhaps that may apply to rules of the material plane in the physical world. Such rules are not necessarily equivalent in the Fae.
Who would be an expert to talk to on that? If you're not.
There are countless numbers of domains in the Fae. Each has its own set of unbreakable rules. So it could be any number of experts, but it's not us.
Do you know
And
of the
Mr. Witch kind of like pauses for a minute. It's like, I rewind the clock a bit. Yes. I think all of you look vaguely familiar. Yeah. Perhaps last time we were here, you all, we would have spoken about your entry without a ticket. Yeah.
Do you have any way of helping us, Mr. Witch?
No. Those who lose things are responsible for what they lost. It is not our duty to recover payments, which was rightfully established.
I didn't say anything about duty. I was asking for assistance.
The answer is no.
Leave the presence. I've seen this conversation going nowhere. I'm leaving the situation here.
Okay, you kind of just trundles off.
Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, what do you know about the prisoner?
The prisoner. Yes, and you mentioned Zabilna. It is a little-known fact that Zabilna is another archfey, and she is the sponsor of this carnival.
Have you happened to hear from her recently? Does she communicate with you at all?
No, I don't believe she's ever directly communicated with us. The connection between her and this carnival was established before we took ownership of it.
And let's say theoretically, very theoretically, that she just disappeared.
Oh, I love pretend.
Let's just pretend that she disappeared. What would happen to this carnival? What would, in general, just happen to the prisoner?
Well, hypotheticals. Difficult to say, but some of the ambient magic that makes this place up is supplied via the prisoner and Zabilna herself. I imagine it would begin to deteriorate and fall apart. But here we are. We are still standing.
For now.
Well, yes, that's fair. So she must be present in some manner.
I would slightly like to differ.
Oh,
Because
elaborate.
the I don't know if you know, but Kettle Stream said that she's lost contact with her.
Well, not all those who carry a bond with, patrons retain their bonds. Sometimes it fades over time.
Yeah, but she seems pretty concerned about it. He was
Well,
pretty adamant that something was wrong.
well, the concern of a rabble rouser, and again, like legitimate anger. In my carnival, I care not.
Okay.
I would imagine you
Just
have
a
some
little?
sort of contact with her, right? If she sponsors your carnival.
No, she is the silent sponsor. We are a bit of an extension of her domain that is able to travel around to the different planes and provide entertainment and ensure to those who seek it.
So if you have, we're all familiar with the carnival. It appears every 8 years, so obviously you can travel between the
Quite.
planes.
Yes.
How is that done? Is there a way? Is it strictly limited to the carnival itself and the workers, or is it something anyone could do?
And Mr. Witch kind of pipes up and, Pinky, you are to say nothing of this. That is a trade secret. However, I can't. The mechanism of how we travel is a trade secret. I can tell you that we can travel between the worlds, and we do not travel to the Prismere.
Do you have control of where you appear, at least on this plane?
To a degree.
What's the limitations?
And he smiles for the briefest of moments, and then his face returns back to like this kind of sour look. Whimsy. Limitation is whimsy.
I think he's just really enjoying not being the person in the hot seat right now. Like,
Any other questions?
Yeah. Is it possible for us to speak in private?
We are in private.
yeah. I also have a question for you guys, which
I mean, more of just the four of us. Being you two, myself, and Pinky.
I believe we are secluded enough for my tastes. If your companions wish to wander off, that is their choice.
I want to look at
This
everyone.
is
Yeah,
boring
my guy is
anyway.
super bored and he just takes off. Like he's done with this shit.
Right.
He don't got
Oh,
he don't got the
what?
attention span to do this.
And Troy,
I do want to walk over to Locke, though, and more kind of hush hush. Ask, will you step out, but don't be too far?
Sure. And I'll actually step into the first little section of the big top right there.
okay, staff area.
Yeah.
You see the tiefling that had like the fire dance with the methods that came out of his smoke. He's still like cleaning off makeup and kind of getting out of his garments. And Troy, was there anything that Moose wanted to participate in that conversation with?
No, I think Moose also got bored and probably would have followed off with the
good.
Zarius.
Good job.
Gotcha. So the three people with the short attention span, they all take off. And then it's just Locke, Pinky, and the two owners.
Try not to get me
dirty
fired,
lad.
okay?
So once everyone kind of steps out and the door shuts, I want to bring up more of unrelaxed but kind of concerned of. So I did mention and ask about some strange figures walking around. I don't know if you're quite aware. As we were around join the carnival, we were in the Pixie Kingdom, and there was a very, how do I describe him, shadow-like figure walking around. No wings as the ones we wear, or the ones that are attached to our body. And they seem to be having a young teenage-like dragonborn with them, but they were escorting him fairly quickly, ideally looking as the dragonborn didn't seem willingly. And when I say willingly, I'm like staring at them, willingly wanting to go with them. I don't know if you're aware of a possible abduction within your carnival, or have any information in regards to some shadow figure roaming your carnival.
I'm sure you didn't see what you saw. Our carnival is safe. And I'm sure it was just a concerned patron escorting a lost child back to their family.
Insight check.
Go ahead and roll an insight check.
Also, DM question real quick.
Yep.
You had me do a history check. Was that for one of the shadowy people?
That was for the shadow person that you saw, yeah.
All right, so we'll see if I'll wait if Kelvis calls out some bullshit or something, and then.
I probably don't, not with this roll. I mean,
Oh no.
I mean, I don't know. He seems sketchy, but
Yeah.
He
Okay.
seems to believe what he's talking about.
so you're not worried at all of even the possible chance that something like this could be happening at your carnival?
That is why we have security. That is why we have the Lost and Found, which employs young Pinky here. We have those. We have mechanisms in place to help those who need help themselves.
What about in terms of magical means? Obviously, I can imagine there's no sort of way to keep magic users that don't work here from using their magic. And Kevis is already aware of this. He's seen it, but he
Yeah.
wants to see what they say to it.
To excuse me. Essentially, what you're talking about is a wide range anti-magic field, which to employ something like that. That's non-selective. It would be a blanket covering, which would severely handicap much of the magic that we rely on to run the carnival itself. So to answer your question, no, we don't have a mechanism like that. We do have those who are trained in tracking and, making sure that magic users are behaving while at the carnival.
So there is the possibility of a magic user slipping in, metaphorically abducting someone and zipping right out without anyone being aware.
As much as there is any chance anywhere else in the world.
Look, I'm pretty sure I know what I saw. And it looked like a figure of, I believe it was, did you say Gleam?
Gleam.
Gleam. Not really sure if I know them very well. Who took this Dragonborn away. And, well, we kind of know something's up, so Kevis is pretty persistent. He's been beating me around the bush for the entire time he's been at this carnival. I tried to get an audience with you, and you kind of brushed me off, and so here we are again, and this is just going to be a cycle that continues to go round and round until you kind of tell us what we're asking you to tell us.
Pinky, things going on.
Yeah.
And like he kind of, saying it almost like in a way that like a parent says to a child in like, "There's no monsters in your closet," type of voice.
That's a lie. I've seen things. You can't tell me otherwise that there aren't monsters out there.
Where? In the carnival, there would people be screaming and running away frantically.
If they can see them, that comes back to the conversation of you have figures walking around your carnival that aren't meant to be here for the fun and games. There's something going on. I mean, we just stopped an incident earlier.
You guys did?
Caused by a disgruntled guest.
I mean, I would imagine child abduction is a disrupted guest too. At this point, like Kevis's mood is like turning into interrogation.
If you have proof, then bring it to us. If not, then we're done. Burley. And he snaps his fingers, and the bugbear comes over. That'll be enough. The bosses have matters to attend to. Come this way.
I want to, right before we walk out, be like, what if we can get in contact with Zabina?
Bilna.
Like, I'm saying that over my shoulder as I'm being escorted out.
Or like, is there a way into the Prismere?
Goodbye.
Yeah. All right.
You guys spent a long time grilling them and they ran out of patience.
My patience is running out too, though. I might just resort to stealing their things.
I'm just gonna walk out.
Okay. You guys are all kind of ushered out by Burley, and he continues to escort you. He's not like pushing you guys or anything, unless you guys are resisting or trying to cause a ruckus. And you guys come out, and he kind of leans to you. Any of those that are remaining nearby, he says, "Well, I understand the predicament, and there is something going on. A direct approach is likely not the best method to take here.
Okay.
There's Mr. Witch and Mr. Light are good people. They wouldn't be doing something harmful. They truly love this place and the guests that they entertain. Something's happening, but I believe their hands are tied. It's not that they don't want to help you, it's that they can't. You may have to force their hand.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that.
If you
tried to do this the
Mr. Witch
way.
I heard Mr. Witch, Pinky, he told you that you can't speak of it, and I know how binding his words can be. But you could take his pocket watch. The pocket watch is key to.
Let's do it, Pinky.
Yes. You guys can make a distraction.
Is the key to the timely mechanism of the carnival. With that, he may be able to. With that out of his possession, that he may be able to.
See some reason.
That may be enough leverage to break through whatever is binding him.
Okay. Yeah. Would you know like a pretty good timing that I could go in there and take it from him?
I believe they'll be on guard at this point.
Okay.
You've come at them straight on. They'll be on high alert. But the end of the carnival, during the crowning of the Witchlight, the Witchlight Monarch, that's essentially the only time that Mr. Witch will leave his wagon, as you know.
Okay. Great.
Perhaps try then.
Thank
There'll
you.
be a lot of people. You'll have to be very effective.
Oh, I am a professional at this. You haven't got to worry about me at all.
All right. Good luck.
Thanks.
And he
I
goes
need
back
it.
in. Okay. So let's go back to the rest of the group. Where are you guys at? What are you doing?
Moose went over to the carousel.
Okay. Zarius, Eli, where are you guys at?
My guy's literally just wandering around, super bored. He doesn't have anybody to play with, and he doesn't know what to do.
No.
Sounds good.
So that's why he's just been wandering around.
Eli is meditating by the lake, by the river.
By the river. I'm like scanning for your character, and I feel like I'm.
Yeah.
Oh, there we are. Like I feel like I'm in a Where's Waldo poster all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm just down here meditating.
Okay. Sounds good. Guys, and let's actually take a break for this for a moment. Okay, Eli, let's switch over to you. You are down meditating by the edge of the river. Walk us through what you're doing, what you're thinking about.
And I'm back, by the way. My wife had got home with my prescription, so I had to go take them.
Gotcha. Hopefully they help and there's no more death puking.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's not even the puking that was the worst. It's the stomach cramps. Like I wanted to crawl out of my own body.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, those are terrible when you just got nothing left.
Oh, yeah, man. Nothing left. But I got my prescriptions and they're for anti-nausea. It's the same stuff that they gave me at the hospital. It's just in form, so hopefully it'll help.
Okay. Cool. Gotcha. Cool. Well, I hope it helps, man. Okay, Eli, you are meditating. What's going on?
Yeah. So with the end of our last lead, I'm down here meditating and praying for an answer to where my lost things are. That's it. That's all I'm doing down here.
Okay. What kind of thoughts are forming? What does your prayer sound like?
Nothing distinct, bro. Just seeking answers, man. I'm just asking where I should go next. Just seem lost in this carnival, and wondering if this is even where I need to be looking for my lost item.
All right, and you hear and sitting right behind you on a rock is a figure that you've seen here once already. She says, "Oh, don't worry, dearie. You're precisely where and when you're supposed to be." And it's the gnome bard from the eating area during the cupcake contest.
Yeah. Let's see.
Kind of like pointy ears, olive skin, like a bun up top. With she's just playing like a little tune. That's exceedingly soothing, and she's just got a white frog sitting on her lap. Seems very comfortable.
Yeah, I punch the frog and then I continue in my own thoughts.
She just looks at it and laughs, and the frog like leans into it more like a pet. Like you're just like when dogs push their head underneath your hand because they want attention.
Yeah, how would you know where I need to be, when I need to be?
That's my little secret, but I assure you I need to help. Gather your friends. Some of the workers here, they know more than they might appear at first glance. Especially those that you haven't conversed with yet. I believe your big red one may be near some answers. I'll leave you to it. See you soon. And she just like vanishes in with the smoke.
That was a big red one.
Who's the big red one?
Who's the big red one? All right.
Is the one that's in the picture with the Halloween head?
Burn.
Like, move your own head to the side.
Okay, all right, I got you. All right. Yeah, awesome. So, I guess I'll stand up and then start wandering and looking for my other compatriots.
Companions, compatriots, compadres.
Yeah,
I feel like you were saying to say all three of those at the same
All
time.
three of them. All three of them. Yes.
All right.
Word vomit.
All right. Yeah, you're able to go up and start gathering your friends. Has anybody seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a moment in that movie where, like, I don't remember which two words it is, but like he's forming a sentence and then there's like this spinning wheel, and then like it has like a bunch of word choices and it just like
Yes.
and like the little ticker goes
through.
like it goes directly between two words and he blends them together. I feel like that is a perfect depiction of what happens in moments like these.
Yes.
Okay. Eli, you're able to go around and kind of gather your troop. You find Zarius just wandering around, and like just Zarius, what you doing?
So right now I'm just hopping around. I'm actually looking for some grubs on the ground to eat.
Oh my goodness.
You're able to find some like kind of closer.
That's the person who did the same thing except with a half-eaten something.
Donut? It was worth it. If you ask Pinky, she'd say it's 100% worth it. Free food, man. Free food.
All the food here is free.
For me, yeah.
For everybody.
Hey, any grubs I find are free too.
Yeah, come on now. Join the floor gang.
That's right.
No, I'm gonna go to the feasting orchard and get free food that's only been touched by the person who cooked it, and then me.
Yeah, I don't really care about it being cooked.
So can that be the official like party name, the Floor Gang?
Floor
I like
inspectors.
I like that.
Inspectors. Yeah.
Floor gang.
Floor gang.
Okay. So you guys are able to gather up, and Eli, do you say anything to your friends?
Yeah. Have you guys seen Moose around anywhere?
Moose.
Know where he's at?
No.
I seen him when we left, and he was headed, I think, towards the carousel. But I got distracted, and I
You got distracted?
Yeah, I don't know how it happens.
Yeah.
He goes back to
sounds like
looking
a
for
good
grubs.
Oh god.
So the
Sounds
two people that get most distracted lost each other. Shocking.
So you said he was near the carousel? I mean, we could look there. Where's Kelvis?
That's what I was gonna say, Morgan. I actually wanted to do something before I met up with everybody.
Okay. Real quick, just because Troy hasn't had much screen time today. So are you just like riding the carousel, just enjoying yourself?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that Shellsworth and gang left to go do some business somewhere. I haven't seen them for a little while, so I've just been kind of wandering on my own. I left to go find Zarius and just kind of lost him and found my way to the carousel and have been riding that.
It's scary that you've been left alone.
I mean, he has supervision, right? He's got his 3 Patriots.
Have you met Moose?
Yeah.
Leaving him alone.
Probably safer for us if he's alone.
See, I mean, you're not wrong. I think Eli would agree with that.
Agreed. I'm still bruised up from that last.
You're muted, Morgan.
That's my one a day. You go up and you come up and you see this lovely, orange and white speckled kind of centaur woman, and she's running the carousel and she says that'll be one punch, please. And you're like, okay. And you get on and like you go and sit on the carousel and like once it's kind of full up, these wooden horses, they start to shake and creak to life. And it's not just like a mechanical like up and down. There is that motion to it, but the floor is all ripply, and these kind of they're large enough to like hold people on them, but the horses start to run around, and like every time that they move, like their mane kind of moves like it's in the wind. You hear like creaking of wood, like a chair type of thing. And it's fun. It's like going around in circles like on a horseback. And there's several children and whatnot that are squealing in delight getting to ride a pony, especially one that looks like a unicorn.
I think that Moose is also squealing in delight.
What does Moose's what does Moose's excited squeal sound like?
Oh, geez. Yeah, just like higher pitch than you maybe would have expected. Yeah, he's just happy. He's like super thrilled for some reason.
Is Moose the only
it might just be like
adult there on that?
Oh, basically, yeah. He waited in line. Like all the other parents are like essentially like waiting around the edges, and Moose is 4 times bigger than everybody else is riding, and so the horse looks rather small on him.
If he was 4 times bigger than everybody else in the
in.
line, then he would have also cut in place a little bit, probably. So some of the other kids are probably annoyed with him. But he's like, at this point, he doesn't care at all. He's just like squealing like a little girl.
He's living his best life.
He is.
Good, yeah.
It's good. Okay. All right, so cut over to Kelvis. Or Kevis, what you doing?
When we start to leave the area, not really having much answers, he's gonna try something he's never done and begrudgingly do it because he's gonna walk to the nearest tree that would resemble the one from his past, if you know what I'm talking about, Morgan.
Yeah.
He'd go up, sit down, kind of process everything, questions, start talking as if he's talking to someone, but no one's there.
Okay.
He just asks, is there any way I can contact you? And he just sits there and waits for something. This is so new to him. He has no idea what he's doing, but he's trying to reach out.
Okay. Sure.
It's worth a shot.
And you don't get any response. Kind of like a certain feeling, almost like a prayer. You just like put it out there and wonder if there's any chance that it'll come back to you, or if it's more like something that maybe you reach out and it'll come back, but it'll come back in a way that you're not expecting, in a time that you're not expecting. Yeah.
I think after that, this moment's kind of making him uneasy. He'll quickly get up and go find the group.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're able to find the group there?
Yep.
All right, and with Pinky's passive perception, Eli asks, I guess where Moose is? You hear this sound.
Yeah. I have to, yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness!
He's found himself a ride. I think found himself the carousel ride, perhaps. He's over in this
Sounds about right.
direction. I'm just laughing. Did anyone else hear that?
Did any of us hear it?
Whoa! Whoa! Slow down.
You hear something. But Pinky seems to be convinced that it's Moose, and you're like, "I was a little girl."
Okay. Just gonna go for the amusement to see if you're right.
Sounds good.
Hey guys! Look it over here!
I want to say, as soon as Kevis sees him, he's gonna try to hold in his laugh, but also shake his head in disappointment.
Yeah.
Isn't Kevis unable to keep his laughs in still?
Hey, it comes out, but you can tell I'm fighting it hard.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, he's trying. He's just not doing a good job.
No.
It's like you can see it in his eyes. Like his eyes are like, no, keep it together, and his mouth is like, just like, I can't. Yep. Okay. So you guys all make it over to the carousel, and you see the same centaur woman, and she says, and her Pinky, you know, her name is Diana. Diana Clappington. She says, "Hi, Pinky. Nice to see you."
Hey, Diana, I think our screaming
Friend.
friend who sounds a little bit like a child is on that ride, and we'd like to get on it too, I suppose. Or I do. I want to get on the ride. He sounds like he's having a fun time.
Sure,
Oh yeah, he looks
welcome.
like he's having fun. I want on.
All right. And you guys all take a turn, and you guys all get a punch.
DM, question,
Yeah.
because you were playing my character last week, I don't know how many punches I have. So I had gotten, the last time I played, I had gotten a new card, and so I didn't watch the whole episode last time, so I wasn't sure how many punches I had.
Oh boy. Okay, one for the Pixie Kingdom,
Okay?
and one for Dragonfly rides. No, you guys didn't actually ride the Dragonflies.
We
You just
didn't
went over
ride
there and
them.
helped out.
Okay.
So I think that's it.
All right. Because, yeah, I had just gotten a new one, so then that'll just be it. Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem. Locke, are you going over to the carousel too? You seem like you're like lagging behind.
I guess.
Yes! It's a party! Join the floor gang!
All right, so you
Floor
guys
gang!
Floor gang. You guys all get on the carousel. I'll take a punch, and you too see this similar experience to what Moose has already gone through. And Moose, I expect you're just happy to ride again.
Guys, I think
Oh, yeah.
those grubs might be hallucinogenic.
This is so
What do you
much better
mean?
than the snails.
It's all rippling. It looks like it's moving.
Yep, and the horses creak to life and start shuffling around, and they like gallop, and you guys are like, whoa!
This is more of a scream of horror than a scream of excitement.
Oh, yeah, scream of horror. He's freaking out. He thinks it's the grubs.
Oh no, it's those floor crumbs.
One should not eat fey worms. All right, and after a moment, after a few minutes, the ride does die down, and things get a little bit more relaxed. And Diana says, "Thank you. You're welcome to come again."
Wow, guys, that was a really quick trip.
Yeah.
Isn't it awesome though? It's so great.
It
Moose
was a
is
pretty
just
fun ride.
grinning. ear to ear. There's something about this that has Moose even more tickled than when he cannonballed a pie.
I'm like, Moose, is this all you've been doing? Is going around this carousel?
Yeah, isn't it awesome?
Yeah, it is pretty fun. Some of the kids don't look too happy. What you do?
Well, I mean, that happens.
You mean that happens? I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm like, okay. Who else
What are
is
you
on
guys
the
doing?
carousel? It's just us two.
No, I was on it. I just didn't move my guy over there.
So what happened in the room, you guys?
It was really boring.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I remember that part.
No,
Yeah,
we did.
that's the last thing I know.
We got none of our answers. None of them. So, we're gonna resort to maybe taking some things.
Oh
You
yeah, if he
know-
hears you talk about stealing, he gets super happy.
Plan B. It's Plan B. We're going with Plan B. Plan A failed. Plan B's up next.
What was Plan A again?
Talking.
Oh yeah, that failed. We did much better with Plan B.
Yeah.
When do we should we beat up some more Kenku?
That wasn't Plan C. We're going with Plan C.
That's the fourth one.
I thought it was third. Now you're confusing me.
This whole
Oh,
time,
man.
I don't know.
I want to point out this whole time, Kevis is like halfway paying attention to the conversation, but it also looks like something he's slightly focusing on something else.
You know, oftentimes when you're looking for something, it's closer than you think. And Kevis, did you ride the carousel at all?
Yeah, but it was. I want to point out, like, he didn't look amused. He was looking like he was focusing on something else.
Right. His eyes are focused and his mouth is smiling.
This is kind of creepy.
And you didn't even notice she was there, but it's that same gnome lady. And the frog is just sitting on top of her hair bun.
Ooh, a frog.
Do any of us see this?
Yeah, as soon as like she speaks, you can all turn, and she's essentially just like leaning against the side of this cart, of this wagon. So that's
So Kevis
Look at
would
Ellie
her.
would be.
like hear that and kind of be like, excuse me?
look a
And
little
who might
closer
you
to
be?
where you already are.
That's Ellie.
What did you say, Morgan?
I said, look a little bit closer to where you already are.
That point,
Oftentimes, answers are within reach rather than in the distance.
Kevis is looking everywhere.
Roll a perception check.
Oh God.
And an insight check. Kind of to like discern her meaning.
Hold on.
11.
11 insight, 24 perception.
Okay. And she's not. She's trying to lead you to like a particular conclusion. So the DC is not particularly high on the insight, and you're looking around, and like as you're kind of scanning, your eyes brush against the centaur woman running the carousel herself. She goes, and you hear, mm-hmm. And as you look back, she's gone.
Kevis, what are you looking at?
Just confusion. Let's go talk. I already forgot her name. Did she introduce
Diana.
herself to us?
No, Pinky
Oh.
said hi. Pinky said hi, Diana. So you caught her
Okay.
name.
So I look over and it's like, let's go have a conversation with your friend Diana over there. And that's it. And then he just starts walking.
Okay. Little confused. Pinky will follow.
Moose follows.
I motion
Is everybody going? Is anybody not going? Okay, cool. So you guys all go over, and she started like a new group on the carousel, and it's going around. It probably has a few minutes. And there's squealing children, and Moose kind of looks over jealously.
You can imagine.
I can only imagine.
Okay. What do you guys? So you guys coming up, and she's like, "Oh, hello, hi.
Hi.
Do you want to ride again?"
No, I actually. And like this whole time, he's still got this look of confusion. For some reason, I felt like something told me we need to talk to you, but I don't know what.
Talk to me about what?
He kind of sits for a minute. What do you think of the carnival?
I suppose that's kind of a complicated question. It's a great place. I enjoy my work here. And I get to see smiling faces every day of children of a variety of realms, and it makes me happy.
So, you say you see a lot of people. I don't imagine with a bunch of people coming and riding the carousel, a lot of children, a lot of other people looking at Moose, looking back. By any chance, did you see a young teenage-looking dragonborn? Morgan, how did I see how like colors, scales, and stuff were? I can't remember.
I believe it was bronze.
Bronze.
I might be wrong, but we'll say bronze.
Did you happen to see a dragonborn kind of bronze scales, maybe traveling with a
shadowy figure?
Yeah, a dark, shadowy like figure. And I know that sounds really weird. He just kind of pauses.
You can see her pondering. She's like, no, I don't think so. Why?
I look at Pinky, kind of motioning to her to chime in. Or even Locke, looking between the two.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Candace doesn't know who
I've
to
already
trust
said
right
a lot.
Because all the answers seem the same.
Do you happen to know or remember Gleam?
Sure, yeah. I knew Gleam. I haven't seen her for a while. She and her twin left, some time ago.
Sourdough.
I believe I actually saw her. Are you sure you haven't caught glimpse of her?
You saw Gleam?
I believe so. With that dragonborn that Kevis was talking about.
Strange.
Was there any...
Was her twin with her?
No, we only saw... Well, I mean, it's a twin, so I guess I could have seen the twin too.
Well, that's fair.
At different times.
Gleam typically has a mask with a crescent on it, or rather, that was their stage costume, right?
Right.
And Glinto had a sun mask. So
yeah, no mask this time.
Just by the face, they typically have. They're actually quite easy to tell apart. And it was the one that you saw previously did have kind of a circular shape around the face, like a crescent. And kind of going back, you guys Oh, I'm missing. I'm in the wrong folder. Sorry, guys. This is essentially what you saw. Not quite, you didn't catch quite as many details as this, but this is about, just imagine that, but like not quite as in focus.
Aren't kidding, shadow figure. Holy.
Yeah, literal shadow.
Diana,
Yeah, Pinky.
let's say you theoretically have lost something. What would you do to try to find it?
Can you be more specific? I mean, you work in the Lost and Found. That's
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic that I work there and I don't really remember what I've lost.
well, that's peculiar. And there's Kevis and Zarius and Eli. All of you are watching her in this, and you see some sort of connection form in her mind. Something about what Pinky said has given her a new thought that wasn't there before. Well, if you know what you've lost, perhaps then I can be more of assistance. Okay, thank you for writing. Okay, next group, tickets, please. And she kind of continues about her day job as a form of children Judah. Yeah. No, I want this one. I want the blue one. Oh, fine, you take the green. And then like she kind of like draws like a magical sigil and like turns it, and the carousel begins moving itself again. She comes back to you. Sorry about that. So you say you don't know what you lost?
I mean, it's hard to explain.
So I chime in. He's like, I lost the ability to be quiet, and he's still whistling and singing and bouncing around.
Everyone's lost something different, it seems, in this group.
And that look of recognition, or that like new idea, becomes very apparent to everyone. And she says, "Oh,
Oh, what? You know something I don't? Like Carnival?
I do, but I can't talk about it. I literally can't."
Can you sing it?
Not much of a singing voice, I'm afraid. But no, it can't pass my lips.
And I want Kevis chimes in. Can you write it? You don't have to speak it, but can you write it?
I can't. But, and she kind of like gets into a hushed voice. It's like, I've been, you're not the first. You won't be, but I'm unlikely the last. And I've been waiting for an opportunity to help.
Well, we could use some help for sure.
Right. I didn't lose something, but I made a bad decision at one point, and she gestures to her body, says, "You see, I'm not actually a centaur. I just made a bad deal, and I round up like this, and I know perhaps those." And she tries to say something, and she like gets locked up. Like you can see her like physically like try to like something starts to mess with her
Who was it who was able to
Yes.
read my thoughts? Or who was able to talk to me?
Eli.
Eli.
You think you could maybe just like read her thoughts and see what she's trying to say?
No, that's I can talk to people telepathically. I cannot read people's minds.
Dang it!
Yeah. And as she like she
Why don't
pulls
you
out
see
like
if she
a-
can
like a
say it
rag.
mentally?
She pulls out a rag and like blots something away from her mouth, and she kind of coughs and she pulls away and does with a decent passive perception. Cabasarius Pinky, she pulls it away, and it's very strange. Like she got locked up with something, and she has like she shakes her hand and kind of brushes it on her kind of blouse corset thing, and like there's little mushrooms that fall off her fingertips, and you think that's like resap that just she had on a rag and like had to put it away. It's like I actually can't. But what's going on needs to be stopped. Let me help you in the way that I can.
Okay.
And she as people exit the carousel, she comes over and she's sorry. I've got to close it down for a little bit of maintenance. It'll be back up in a few. Come back and I will get. You can be first in line. I'll remember all your faces. All right. Okay, come back in a bit, please. And everybody like, oh man, I really want to cry. And one kid starts crying, and it's like, and the parents like, you don't have to cry. We'll be back. And just like everybody starts to shuffle away, and she puts up a sign in front of the line area where people had been coming on. And she hands you a pot of gold paint, like a few pots, like 3 pots of gold paint to the group. She says, I'm not able to speak of it. Others might be. Let me punch your tickets. And she does like a round of ticket punches on all of you. And she's like, look for the words. And she turns and like she goes and like basically pretends that she's working on the carousel.
Look for the words.
Look for the words.
With gold? We got gold glitter paint?
Yep.
What? I guess Pinky's gonna look for words? I don't know.
Okay. And as she does that, she kind of like looks over at the horses. And as she says, like, look for the words.
Okay, so Pinky's gonna look at the horses for words. Hey guys, I think she wants us to find words that are on the horses. Maybe she was looking over at them, or maybe it's just on the carousel. I don't know. I don't know what we do with this paint either.
Yeah,
But
just stare, see if anything pops out to him.
See if anything needs to be painted.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Can I roll a perception check?
I was going to ask the same thing.
Yeah,
See if
basically
anything
everybody who's
is-
looking.
All right. You said perception, right?
Yeah.
There's a 20.
When it
Wait, what the
fucking
hell?
counts.
Oh no! I might have cursed
How did
you.
mine pop up a 5?
You rolled a 1.
'cause you got a natural 1.
Oh, and
Not
it
right.
stopped at a 19. That's why I was like, what the heck? No worries.
Oh yeah, sometimes they don't.
I didn't see the
roll
whole
different.
animation.
Okay, so there's essentially 8 pairs, or excuse me, 4 pairs of unicorns on this carousel, and with the collection of them, and like you guys are kind of like looking around, you see each one of them has like a nameplate, and all of the horses on like the inside track, they all have a nameplate that's complete. You see Fortune, Fall, Stone, and Age is on the nameplate. And then kind of next to them, you see paired up is our nameplates that are incomplete. With Fortune, you see B and 3 blank spots. You see Fall, and you see PR with 3 blank spots. You see Stone with an M, 3 blank spots. And then you see Age with EE and 4 blank spots.
Is this glitter stuff like clear coat?
What do you mean by
Just,
clear
like,
coat?
Pour it on.
It's paint. She gave you like a little clay pot with like gold paint inside and like a paintbrush.
Okay.
Are we supposed to match the names or something?
Can you write the ones that are paired up with it?
It was a matching game?
Yep, I'm gonna do this because the formatting didn't come through properly. So it doesn't. Discord doesn't like underscores, so I'm gonna put X's.
Well, we know there's 3 blanks after each of them, right?
Except for
Or after B.
yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
Can I like roll an intelligence check to figure out what we're supposed to do here?
And what are the other
That Pinky's intelligence is more than mine.
the same in the same order? Can you put the one that's paired up?
Yep.
Hmm.
A Fall could be prone.
I was like, Fortune could be broke, but I'm like, nope, that can't be right. Opposites are the same.
Fortune.
Stone could be
Stone
mend.
could be Micah or Mend.
Yeah. I got mend.
Or mold?
Mold.
Fortune could be. What is this fucking saying?
Is there anybody watching us?
So hold on.
We're all
Well,
like
I can.
gather around
We
these
just all look like
horses.
idiots.
There's people just sort of that are ongoing every once in a while. Like somebody looks over and it's like, oh, the carousel. Oh,
Okay. So no one's like paying attention to the group staring at the horses.
The
Not in
group
particular.
struggle.
What were you saying,
Okay,
Duke?
So I'm just confused because like one of these I think I know, but I don't think my guy would know it because he's not smart.
You know, it's all right for you guys. You know, at this point, it's like you guys can figure out the puzzle with
Okay.
whatever knowledge you guys would have.
So what I have is fall. Pride comes before the
Okay.
fall. So PRIDE.
Oh, are these just sayings?
Yeah, they look like sayings if
Is
you
that
look
what
at the
you
other
think these
ones.
So then Fortune, I mean, wasn't it like Fortune favors the bold? Or
Yeah,
brave
that's-
or
Yep.
something?
That's that one. And then what would age be? 1, 2, 3,
Beauty.
4, 5, 6.
Age before beauty.
Age before beauty.
BEA.
Thank you.
But I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
For some reason,
Yeah,
I'm
and
leaning
as you guys
towards
like,
mid. I don't
as you
know
guys
why.
like paint the letters on, it kind of like whatever your handwriting is kind of like consolidates and it like matches the as you get it on there properly. You get like the font essentially becomes the same as like the letters that were there in the first place, kind of solidifying.
Okay. So
Okay.
it's not just
A rolling stone gathers no moss.
See, I don't know that one.
Yeah. Nope. Never heard of that.
I heard fortune favors the bold, fall before the pride, age before beauty. Well, you got it.
And as you paint in the last one, the carousel begins to move. And the eyes of the horses, which you guys have already ridden, and it just stayed as is. But like this time, there's a little bit more like livelihood that like opens up in the eyes, and the mouth of the horse actually starts opening.
I think I'm having a flashback.
I think I'm scared. Don't eat me! Don't eat me!
And the unicorns, they kind of shiver awake, and they're even more lively than they were before. And they say, "Hey, welcome! Hop on, hop on!" And they start to like stretch their legs, and they start to gallop.
Wait, they're talking?
They're talking. To you.
Oh, I guess I'll hop on the.
I'm gonna jump on the fortune favors the bold.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
I'll
Okay,
jump
so,
on fall before the pride.
Okay, yeah, and it's two of them. Okay, so Pinky jumps on bold.
Be bold.
Locke
Okay.
jumps on
Okay.
fortune.
I'll jump on fall.
That works.
Okay, fall.
Kevis doesn't jump on.
Moss.
This.
Don't be a wuss.
Come on!
There's something about this.
Or Eli, you wanna come on?
Yeah, Eli's on the moss.
You're suspicious, but you're also just tickled and like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, they're talking this time.
Get on a horse, Kevis.
And it's
Come on.
circling right now.
Yeah,
Get
it's
on a
like
unicorn.
It's
Look.
like it's running like
Get on.
it was before, but it's just more animated, more lively.
Look, if anything bad happens, we're all gonna be equally screwed, probably. So, what do you got to lose?
Anything seems suspicious out of this?
You.
You're talking to a wooden horse. Yeah, it's weird.
A fake carnival. Hop on a horse.
Whatever one's closest to the outside.
Okay,
Kevis
sounds
is
good.
gonna-
Moss is one of the ones on the outside. So you guys kind of spread around, and like as you guys all sit on the horses, and Eli, this is very familiar to you, but it's almost like you can hear the horses speaking, but it's and it's loud enough to be heard, but it's kind of like you guys are almost in like a conversational like a conference call, but it's all telepathic. And like the horses are speaking, but you guys can all hear what all of them are saying very clearly. He says, "Oh, thank you. That's Oh, it's been so long since I was able to stretch my legs."
I'm gonna scratch the back of my unicorn's ears.
Oh, that's a little to the right. Get the knot. Get the knot. Thank you. Welcome. What brings you here?
We've all lost some things, and we're hoping you can help us find them.
Oh, well, that would make sense. I can smell it on you.
What? You can smell it on us?
Yes. Very keen senses on a unicorn, I'm sure.
You know what I've lost?
No. But I know who took it.
Ah,
What?
that information's just as good. Who would that be?
Her name, Gabatha Nightshade.
Did you say Tabitha, Nightshade?
Gabatha.
Oh, Gabatha.
Like Tabitha.
But with the
Here, I'll
G.
just post it.
With a G? Yeah, got it.
With a B.
Bagatha?
Gabatha.
Gabatha.
People.
Yo, Gabba Gabba.
So people have taken
Bro,
what we
Scabatha.
lost.
Gabatha.
Yeah, Pinky.
Well, they stole it from us.
Okay, yeah.
Things that you no longer possess can be given away, they can be lost, or they can be stolen.
Do you know who Scabatha is? Where she is?
Oh, quite, yes. Scabatha is most likely in her lair. It's a dead, hollowed out tree in the Sylvan Forest. In part of the Prismere.
Prismere. I've heard this before. What is the Prismere exactly?
It is the Fey domain of DM's drawing a blank. The Bilna.
Do you know how we access this Prismere?
There's a variety of ways. Some know key locations, even here in the Carnival, that can accomplish such a feat.
Okay. You said that people stolen our things. Is this Scabatha person stolen everybody's item,
Hardly.
or has somebody else?
She is but one of three. And like different horses are answering different questions that you guys pose. It's almost like a collective consciousness spread out into the 8 horses.
So do you know who stole what I'm looking for?
Yours was stolen by Enzelin Moongrave.
Are you diabetic with your insulin Moongrave?
Indelin Moongrave. Oh, I want to know who took mine. Because I'm going to kick her, and I'm going to punch her, and I give her a hi-ya.
And then I'd kick her, sir. Thank you,
Kick her,
Balthazar.
sir. Thank you.
Lorna Blightstone is the one that has yours.
Oh, yeah, she's going to get it.
Cavis would chime in. What about something that's not physical?
Different things can be stolen. Innocence, time, things that are intangible. Some have skills to steal things that are more intangible than those with common abilities can do. For you? Moongrave also has yours.
Moongrave's got
Cavis just
2.
kind of sits back.
Graves kind of stealing a lot of shit, apparently.
Got 1.
Hey, Moose, who stole yours?
Yeah.
Blightstra.
Bright Straw stole his 2. Yeah, me and Moose going to fuck her up.
And Eli?
Skagatha has what you seek, little one.
So, in theory, they could have stolen them. Well, thank you.
You're very welcome. Is there anything else you wish to know?
Is there anything we can do for you?
You've done it already. Let's just stretch our legs for real. It's a rare occurrence.
How much do you know about the people around this carnival?
Not much. We know more about what lies beyond in the Frismere.
Would you know of reasons why potentially a communication between two individuals, one being in the Prismere, one being on this plane, could have been interrupted, cut off?
Oh, there's a variety of reasons. Almost too many to count.
Do you know of any weaknesses these three people might have?
Quite.
Well, I really want to know about Barona Brightstraw's weakness, since she's the one that stole my stuff.
She happens to be allergic to somebody running in Widdershins.
Running in what?
Widdershins.
And what is that?
Counterclockwise. And it starts laughing to itself like it's a funny joke.
What about Scabatha?
Stupid horse.
She sleeps in a dollhouse and she can't remember the first creature she sees when she wakes up.
That was Scabatha, right?
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
About Moongrave.
She has foreseen her own death, which happens during an eclipse. She fears them. The three you seek are a trio of hags.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
No.
What?
A trio of hags is what I think you said.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we're first level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you?
So this is very gonna go great for us.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Do you know?
Are you gonna stay in my head?
Would you like me to?
I mean, there's a lot of space.
This is just a lot of consciences to be telling me things.
Moose, it's not an unfamiliar sensation for there to be more than one voice in your head, but this is certainly more than you've ever had at one time.
Is there a way that we can travel there from here?
We are not privy to the information other than we know it exists here.
You said that you didn't know that much about, like, the carnival itself, but the Prismere, do you know what's happening there?
What we know is limited in that regard. We do know that the hags are responsible for it.
You mentioned the way to get there is here, but you're not sure where in particular. Do you know who would know more?
I believe we do, but so do you.
So,
Yeah.
Pinky, you had a plan C. What was that plan?
I think we're supposed to fight everyone.
No. My plan C was, because plan B was apparently, according to Moose, fighting everyone. Plan C was to wait until the crowning of the monarch, and then I would steal their
Watch.
Their watch.
As soon as
What
Pink-
watch?
Was I not allowed to talk about any of this?
Say that again.
Was Pinky told that she couldn't talk about this particular? Or she can talk.
I mean, you could talk about stealing the watch.
Yeah, but like
They don't know about that.
Is
Yeah, you're not. You had a binding put on you for that.
okay, yeah. Well, Pinky kind of stops talking.
But your plan was to steal something.
Yeah, I plan on stealing something unless one of you is actually. Yeah, no, I don't think any of you can get into the back staff area where it would be, even legally. I mean,
Well, we're stealing anything. I'm not really caring about the legalities of the situation.
Well,
yeah,
and there's also
Pinky would know
wards
that-
to get in.
yeah. Pinky would know that the bushes around the staff area aren't going to let anybody but the staff in.
Right.
Gotcha.
Did you sponsor
Well,
us?
You know that there's a kind of a window in which like you can open up the vines, and the vines will stay open
Yeah.
for a short,
For them.
like just a few seconds.
Mhm.
And the carousel
And
starts to slow down a bit. And
Do you know who sponsored us?
I think I do know who sponsored you guys actually, because
we don't.
Probably
Before
the
you
three
go-
hags.
Before you go,
they're just playing mind games with us.
you asked about where Scabatha is located, but we also want to tell you that Balvorna,
Mm-hmm.
she lives in a rambling cottage on stilts in the Fey Swamp.
What about Moongrave?
She has a lair in a mountaintop theater.
Do you happen to have a map
Wow.
of the Prismere?
And at this point, the horses start to slow down, and they say, having a map of the Fae is essentially useless. Things shift. At a whim, it is an emotionally responsive piece of the Fae. And they kind of shiver, and their legs and limbs start to slow down. They say, good luck. Enjoy
Thanks.
your adventure. And they freeze back up into their normal positions, and the carousel stops.
Do the
And-
letters disappear?
Yep, and as they stiffen, the letters fade back out like they've been worn and rubbed off. Not like they're missing, but more like people have just been brushed by them so many times that the paint just.
I'll whisper to mine. I'll come back and write the letters on here again so we can stretch your legs later.
And you see the one. You see one of the eyes just give you a wink. And you guys come off, and you see Diana looking at you. She says, "I hope you found what you're looking for."
Have one question, Diana.
Yes.
Do you know how we can get to the Prismere?
Not me. I'm afraid I don't.
Do you know who might know?
Those who know everything here.
Those who know everything. So it's
Mr.
the two people in charge that know how
Yeah.
to get there.
That's your best bet.
Some say we go steal their shit.
Plan C.
All right.
And give them 1-4 for me when you give them 1-4 for me when you get there.
Oh, 1-4. What's that?
Give them
they're
what
the
for
ones-
for you? No problem.
They're the ones that made me like this.
Oh.
I wished to be reunited with my warhorse. They have a sick sense of humor.
Mm.
Wait.
Wait, I'm confused. Do you mean the people in charge of the carnival, or are you talking about the witches?
Not the carnival owners.
Oh, okay.
Hags.
Oh, hags, right.
I hope
Okay.
you can end this nightmare that's been imposed in the background of joy.
We do too. We do too. Thank you.
Best of luck.
All right.
Okay, so what are you guys doing? I'm gonna turn off my video.
Maybe we should talk to Bernie. His name was Bernie, right?
The philosophy boy? Burley?
No,
Are you talking about the bugbear?
the bugbear.
That's Burley.
Maybe he'll know how to get to the Prismere, and he seems willing to help.
Yeah, he
Burley
was the dude with the red head, right?
The pumpkin head.
The pumpkin head. That's what I meant. Yeah.
But wasn't he
Well,
also limited to what he could say, just like everybody else?
I'm gonna.
But she wasn't limited by saying she didn't know how to get there. So maybe that wasn't part of it.
I'm afraid. And I feel like the only person that knows how to get there is Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, and they lied to us.
Well, we know they're not going to help us get there. Unless we steal the pocket watch and use that to bargain.
That's kind of where I would lean towards. Even though we've tried like hell to not cause a scene, I think maybe a little scene might be what we need right now.
So yeah, I think that's our best bet. And so I'm thinking that during the big crowning event, a lot of people are already going to be distracted, but there's probably going to be guards. So I'll need whoever's good. I have pretty good stealth. That's all I'm going to say.
I do too.
Yeah,
We
me
could
too,
be
but
the
it's
ones.
all about dice rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pinky
We
at this
also,
point-
I think
Right.
like too many of us going in there is going to also cause a scene, though.
I think you going in, it's not going to draw attention. You work there. I think the rest of us could cause some sort of distraction.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed.
And Pinky, at this point, you kind of surmise based on what you know about the scheduling of things and how things work. You could get into the staff area and potentially, like, you know, try to take it from Mr. White or Mr. Witch. You also expect that the wand that with the spinning butterfly on it could be approximately as good of a bargaining chip. Mr. Witch and Mr. Light both have an item to themselves, so you could try to do it in the staff area, or you know that. But they'll have Burley and Thaco on watch. They always do. So you have to sneak past the guards and steal it from them and escape without them all noticing. Or you could do it during the big top, which there'll be more people to avoid. But it might be a better chance for distraction. So kind of pros and cons. And you also know that there's about an hour left before the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch.
Okay.
So if you go with the crowning ceremony, you guys have a little bit of time to kill.
It's time to eat anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why don't we go over to the food court and get some food?
I
And
say we could eat and talk about our plan instead of just.
Yeah.
You, Pinky, you know where they sit during the ceremony, right?
Center
probably at
stage.
yeah, where everyone can see them.
Right, but you know where they're going to be. So we set up on the path of them walking to that spot.
What would
And
also
try
continue.
to distract them so that you can more easily pickpocket the watch or the. I would think the watch will probably be easier just because he's always showing off the wand.
Yeah, and I'll out of game probably drink that potion of advantage sometime.
I've got an invisibility cupcake.
I'm just gonna guzzle potions and cupcakes for this.
I can give you guidance.
Yeah, any advantage to this will be beneficial.
Okay, so you guys are all going up to the food court for
Yeah, time to eat.
food. Okay.
Yeah, to eat while we wait for our hour.
Okay, is anybody participating in the custard cupcake contest again?
Sure, I will.
I'll do it since I never
my-
did it the first time.
Yeah, I didn't do it the first time.
Sure, why not? I don't mind winning again.
I love cupcakes. Cupcakes!
Reigning champion.
All
Probably
right.
not the person you want to give sugar to, but
Okay, so you guys come back and okay, so it's Pinky, Zarius, Locke. Anybody else?
Oh, you know Moose is going to be a part of it.
Moose is in, hell yeah. Moose.
All right, that sounds good.
Carnival!
Is the pie back or is it gone?
Surprisingly, yes, it's back. This time, the slice out of it looks like it's blackberry instead of cherry, or red. It's blackberries instead of like red berries. Okay, so the same kind of scene unfolds where like the very rotund chef, Haringen, rabbit folk. Welcome back to the 17th eating contest of the day. We have a return champion. Locke, was it?
And I do my little dance because he said my name.
Hey!
Excellent. I see you've had a fun time here and have a ticket packed. Little known secret. It's not a secret. Welcome, and you guys all sit back up. The custard cupcakes are presented. So I forgot to open this up. I need to review my.
It was
what the
your
DC
con.
bonuses.
It was your con thing. I think DC was either 10 or 12.
Yep, that's right. Okay. So he sets it all up and says, "And begin eating." Okay. So first round, everybody's able to eat 3 cupcakes. And there's 5 different other people gathering around there. You have like two rabbits, like one with kind of like pink tinged ears, one with blue tinged ears, and they're like looking at each other like very competitively. You've got a halfling that is essentially rounder than he is tall, just like a big old guy, just kind of like slumps in and like sits down in like a chair and it freaks. It's like that might be the heaviest looking halfling you've ever seen. And you see a black dragonborn, kind of like green tinge, like receding from his lips. And then you see Goliath with a mohawk that kind of like drips in front of his face. And so you guys begin eating. Everybody gets 3 cupcakes in, and then on the 4th round, go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw.
I thought it was a number equal to.
You're right. So whatever your Constitution saving or whatever your Constitution modifier is, you can eat that many cupcakes on top of the 3, and that is those are freebies. You don't have to roll Constitution checks for.
Oh, okay.
So I'm at 6.
Yep. So
I only got 4.
My modifier is a +1.
Or this is a save.
No,
this is a check. Constitution. It is a saving throw.
Oh.
Can Pinky like sleight of hand eat these cupcakes?
No, it's all Constitution based.
No, she wants
eating.
She wants to cheat.
She wants to throw a cupcake.
Can Pinky cheat this competition?
Roll a sleight of hand check. There's a lot of people watching.
It's a low DC though.
Hey.
Ooh.
For this round, yeah, you're able to like, and it's just under the table in a pile.
So remember that roll when we actually go to the big top.
Yeah, you could have had that.
All right, so you guys start eating, and 4 of the people that are next to you start to like.
Already?
Yep, 4. Yeah, 4 of them. Okay, so round 5. Okay, round 5. Anybody need to roll Constitution saves?
Yup.
Yep.
Oh wait, I didn't need to roll for round 4 because I had a plus.
Yeah, you just decided to do a slide.
Yeah, you just do a sleight of hand.
Yep, you did a sleight of hand, so you can still.
It's a
have
saving
more.
throw, right?
Yep. Moose, you take 7 points of custard damage.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Oh, that's lovely.
Zarius, you take 4 points of custard damage, and the 2 rabbits that are like eating next to each other, both of them are like, and they both like face plants. They're already out.
The rabbits are not doing too hot.
Nope. Okay, round 6. If you need to roll a con save, please do so.
So I have +3, so it'll be my first one on the next round. This one's still free.
This one's still 3. Yeah.
All right. Darius. Darius is going to be out.
Oh yeah, he's going down soon.
It was those
where
day
did we end up?
words.
Oh, okay, so Zarius, you take 1 point of custard damage.
Ah, nice.
Moose, you're fine. Pinky, you're fine.
4 left.
All right. Next round, 6th. So this is the 7th round. So I believe everybody has to roll this time. Ooh, that's not good. The Goliath with the mohawk. You see him like start to cough, and he like smacks his chest a couple of times. And he like does sort of like some custard bubbles up, and he just like
Oh no.
falls back onto the ground, and he is out.
I can roll above it too.
Zarius, what's happening?
Zarius is done.
And the other one, I don't remember what I described them as.
The halfling that's fat.
No, the halfling that's fat.
The barbarian.
No problems.
The Dragonborn.
Yeah, the dragonborn starts to like seep out of its fangs and it just like looks woozy. It's just like, ugh. And like, just goes down. So yep, it's you guys versus this chubby halfling. Okay,
I'm gonna start
Zarius,
talking trash to the halfling. It's like,
Okay,
hey, aren't you allergic to custard?
Zarius, you take 5 more custard damage. Are you still kicking?
He's out. Nope, that took it out.
Oh
He's
no,
done.
no,
He's
Zarius.
done.
Describe how you pass out.
So he's pecking at the custard, and he gets too much in his beak, and he goes squirting at the little 2 holes in the top, and then he just falls over, convulsing.
Oh no.
Like he's like blowing milk out your nose, and it's like it burns a little bit. It just falls over. He looks cozy.
He's all curled up.
Yep. Okay, and you start trash talking on the
halfling. Yeah.
Roll an intimidation check. Okay. And you, what do you say to him?
Oh, I don't know. Something.
I think you said like, aren't you supposed to be allergic to custard? It's like, hey man, screw you. And like, you seem to have rattled him. Okay, so next round, Moose and Pinky and the halfling and Locke are all still kicking. Okay.
Shit.
Okay, because you had a successful intimidation check, he rolled an advantage or disadvantage. That was a natural 20 and a 14, so he's still fine.
Wow.
Ah.
So
Do I
let's
have?
see.
Do I have?
Eli? Are you?
I have inspiration. Why do I have inspiration? Did you give me inspiration last time?
Maybe. I don't know. Probably.
I'm gonna use it. Screw it.
Eli, you're still kicking?
I mean, that was the first time I had to make a saving throw.
Oh my god.
What is your constitution?
Wow.
What?
Nice.
It was that was +4, so that was 7. We're now doing round 8, so yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were +3 with me.
I'm
No,
+4.
he's got crazy constitution. Eli's just
Damn.
What in the world?
I went from a 1 to a 20.
That's nice. Okay, so with the 20, you get basically like an extra point of constitution. So whatever you eat, the next round is free for you.
Ah, nice.
Moose, you're fine. Pinky, you take 5 points of custard damage.
Oh no.
How's the halfling looking?
He's fine.
Can I
He hasn't taken any custard damage yet.
Can I pull out the wooden wand and make an odor go over to him that is absolutely like garbage, the worst thing you can smell?
Roll an Arcana check.
Shit. Okay. Magic's not really your thing. Nope.
You feel confident that you made a smell. And you're like, yeah, I sent it to that guy. Okay, so everybody, next round, go ahead and roll, except for Locke, because you got a natural 20, and roll at disadvantage for everybody. Keva sends out a smell, doesn't control it, and it hits the whole table.
Pinky's gonna try to sleight of hand this cupcake.
I'm gonna try to intimidate again.
You don't you're like mid bite when the smell hits you. You didn't know this thing was coming.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to intimidate the halfling again. I'm gonna say, "Hey, this custard."
You would have had to do that before the round started. So if you intimidate him, you can do it for next round.
For next round, okay.
Normal or disadvantage?
Everybody that's rolling this time is at disadvantage, and the halfling takes his first damage as he as like the smell hits him, and he goes. So at disadvantage, Moose, you still got a 17?
No, that's a 9.
9 with disadvantage.
9 with disadvantage. Moose takes 5 points. Eli with
Moose
7.
Moose is out.
Moose is out.
Moose is out.
I definitely cheesed that so poorly.
Ah.
Right, describe your pass out. It's kind of like, how do you want to do this on yourself?
Carnival.
Yeah, pretty much. But like with his mouth full, so it's like moo.
A little bit like sprays out and gets like the first row of people in the splash zone. Okay. Next up, Eli. Moose is out. Okay. Eli, you took 5 points of custard damage. And then Pinky, you got 3, so you take 5 points of custard damage as well.
I'm out.
You're out.
Pinky's just gonna kind of slouch down out of her chair. It's like,
She's gonna slinks under the table like a kid, like in a restaurant.
yeah.
Okay, so now it's down to Eli, Locke, and this halfling. And he's gonna look over at you and says, skinny guys usually can't keep up. And he's gonna roll an intimidation check on you.
Oh.
So roll like a per
intimidation again.
Yeah, kind of like how well do you receive his intimidation? So go ahead and roll an intimidation check for you.
Do I get advantage since I intimidated him earlier?
No.
Ah.
Fresh rolls. Ooh. Okay, you resist. He got a 14.
Do I intimidate him? Because I'm going to talk shit back to him.
You can, but it'll apply for the next round.
No, I said I was trying to intimidate him for this round.
Well, you didn't tell you didn't. You said that, but then you didn't follow through.
I said, do you want me to roll an intimidation check?
I didn't hear that. I apologize.
Okay,
so you can intimidate him now for next round.
I'll just leave it alone. I'll look at him. I'll be like, I am a champion. Your rotund ass does nothing.
Okay, everybody roll for this round.
Damn, I wish I wasn't on the ground puking up custard so I could laugh at that.
Okay, everybody is fine for this round. Next round. You guys are just stuffing and your bellies are starting to swell. You're getting kind of like that food baby cupcake thing going. All right, Eli. Ooh, you will take double damage, so that'll be. You take critical custard damage for 2 because I rolled a 1. And then that's 5 points of custard damage to the halfling. It's like, hey, you leave my rotund this, and he just like rolls off and like goes and just like face down, just like puddles on the side. So all the NPCs are
wrong.
So now it's just between Eli and Locke, the fated showdown once more. Oh, I don't need to roll anything. So go ahead and roll, guys. Okay, you guys are feeling fine. Keep going. Next round.
Oh, fuck.
All right, critical custard damage for Locke. 10 points of custard damage to you.
Oh, shit, wait. 10 points? I'm
10
out.
points. I rolled a 5.
Oh no!
Oh, unseated.
No.
How much health do you have? Jesus.
A lot. That's a lot. That's like the best stat on Eli by far.
At first level?
Built tank.
Ah, okay.
I got a crit.
Right,
but
I think he got a
it's
+4 to his
damage.
Constitution.
I got a +4 to my Constitution, and I'm wearing chainmail, and I'm a tanky little guy. All right.
I know, but
So he's got to have
like-
like 14, 15 hit points. If he's got +4 to his Constitution, he starts off what he's a. I can't remember what class he is, but he's got to have like 14, 15 hit points.
I mean, I'm +3.
It's like if you've ever like. Oh, go ahead.
I rolled a 8 on a 1d8 as well.
Well, no, you get max first level anyway.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Well, that didn't matter. Yeah, so I'm still sitting at 12. It's not like obscene. I just didn't take that much damage here.
Gotcha.
You lucked out on that crit too.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's like Eli's kind of like if you've ever like met a short person that was incredibly dense, like how do you weigh this much? Like that's Eli.
He just
To an
can't.
extreme.
He just can't punch people.
Yeah.
He be trying though.
Eli's not a hammer. He's more like trying to move a cinder block. Like you try to hit somebody with a cinder block, it's like going to be kind of unwieldy. But you also can't hurt it too badly. Okay, so the rabbit comes over and he's like, "We have fallen. We have won. We have 2 former champions." And he points over to the halfling as well. 2 champions have fallen and given rise to another one. And he lifts up, and by lifts up, and like he's a really short dude, but he lifts up, and by lift up, it's kind of like a sideways. Like he lifts you up, but like his arms like extended all the way. He's like, "We have a new champion in the name King.
It's Eli.
Eli, the fierce green monster, is our new champion." Everybody applauds, and he comes by and like slaps everybody. He's like, "Okay, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine." And like all the custard damage is recovered.
I'm just like
And he's
hoping
like-
this doesn't come back to bite me.
Yep, and he hands you a cupcake of invisibility. Oh, and that cost everybody that participated a bunch.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. And So as you guys kind of like come up for air after like diving in custard, kind of look around and Pinky, by your count, that took about half an hour out of your free time. So you've got
I was
a little bit more time to do something if you want.
How's Kevis's flower crown doing? Hey, I'm
Needs water.
Same
yeah,
thing. Pulling out the water.
You dump the water on, kind of like smiling, but still like grinning, or grinning, but like grumpy in the eyes, laughing, and your water skin is out now.
Go over to the lake and fill it back up.
Lake. There's like you could get like clean, guaranteed sanitized water from.
You're one to talk.
here.
You're picking food up off the ground.
Hey!
It's delicious.
Knowing
Are
what
you
happened
joining the
last
floor
time.
gang?
Yeah, do that.
Knowing what happened last time that we did this, I am running away from the giant pie.
Oh, yeah, I'm gone. I'm at the
Oh
lake.
yeah, good. Yeah.
Moose, what are you doing?
I wasn't really sure what everybody was running away from, but they all seem to be moving from a central place. And then I look up and see the glorious new baked pie and take off into the air.
All right. Roll an unarmed strike.
You run, I run.
Everyone's just disengaged.
Ice cream
It is-
cannonball.
It is a near exact repeat with a different color scheme.
Black and blue.
and once again, like it splatters out, and like there's a couple of people that are like again shocked. There's some people that like immediately start cheering, and there's another guy that's like, I want to do it next time.
Moose
And
Carnival!
and the rotund rabbit says, come back anytime. Eat the pie. Bring out the peach one. I figured you'd be back.
This time.
Yeah, and they start, and there's a few like gnomes and whatnot that get up and like start cleaning it off, and like there's some gnomes on the bottom like with big plates, like trying to catch the pieces that are like still falling off and whatnot, and they go set it in front of the customers and whatnot, and they out of the big tent, the tent flap opens, and there's like a dozen gnomes underneath carrying like a giant pie, and they start to like go up this platform to like set it on there, and eventually they like get it down in there, but they wait until Moose kind of shuts off.
Gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Cool. We'll wrap up there for today, and we'll come back, and you guys have about half an hour left before the final event for the evening, and we will pick up there and see what you guys do with all the new information that you got today. Lots of sleuthing happening around the carnival. Things are not quite adding up, but you now have a little bit of direction. So we will pick this up next time. And happy Halloween.